Alright, thank you for the very good introduction, Indy. So let's just get the run started immediately and I'll start explaining then. So can I get a countdown? So welcome everyone to Mario Galaxy, or I should technically say Luigi Galaxy because we'll only be seeing Luigi this run. I'll quickly explain why we're playing as Luigi. Not only do we skip the intro cutscene of this game, where we actually get a little bit more of the story about when the princess gets kidnapped, again, by Bowser, again. So we're already on this planet here and we're gonna chase this bunny over here. And along the way, while we're following him, we can't really speed this up that much. I'm actually grabbing a few star bits. Those star bits will be useful for what's coming up in a moment. Because now that we've gotten to the three bunnies, they actually don't want to help us until we start catching them. So they're hidden all over this planet. The first one is going to be in this hole over here. And if you actually shoot some star bits at them, you stun them. So it makes them way easier to catch than if you would normally just chase after them. So the next one is going to be in the grass over here, actually grabbing an extra star bit or two and shooting a few more star bits. Fortunately, didn't hit him. Luckily, the bunny easily gets stuck in this little bush over here, so it's not that big of a deal. Then the final one is going to be in the pipe over here, and after that we can actually start seeing a little bit more of the story. So one of the reasons I told you that we're actually playing as Luigi is that we're skipping the intro cutscene, which is several minutes, which we don't want to see. Luigi also has slightly different mechanics than Mario does. He is a little bit faster and jumps a little bit higher than Mario does, which makes some skip way easier to do. Although at the cost of that, it's... hang on, let me side flip up here. So, the thing that Luigi has, so when you start running and then you just stop running, he'll slide a little bit before he actually fully stops. Therefore, he can be a little bit difficult to control. Him suddenly sliding off some weird platforms or not. But with the higher jumps, it's definitely worth our time to play as Luigi. So I should explain, normally you can't start playing with Luigi. Normally you first have to complete the game with Mario. But once you've gotten all 120 stars with Mario and beat Bowser again, you actually unlock sort of the New Game Plus with Luigi, which is the file I'm currently playing on. Also, this Luma that's over here, he actually wants to talk with us, but that's a little bit slow, so we'll just walk around him and actually go to the next planet. So on this planet, I'll be doing a little camera cancel, which is quickly going into first-person mode and then going back out again. That way, you gain control over Luigi again a little bit faster than you would if you would just land on the planet normally. So on this planet we're collecting 5 different star chips to make the launch star actually appear, which we're gonna need to advance to the next planet. So on this planet we gotta save the Luma first before we can actually head to the final planet of this level, and the key for him is actually gonna be inside this Goomba. The Goomba doesn't spawn until we've actually talked to him, so it might seem a little bit slow to first talk to him, but unfortunately it's necessary. So this little Luma will transform into a Sling Star and making us go to the next planet. And on this next planet the enemy is already spawned where the key is going to be in, and it's going to be in this big Goomba over here. I shot a few of my star bits, which is one of the mechanics you can do with your star bits, which I've shown during the bunny catching as well. And hitting one of those spikes will actually make the ground vibrate, so the Goomba actually gets knocked over. By doing that a little bit early by shooting a star bit, that's actually faster. I'm trying to attempt a cutscene skip over here. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it. Usually, a little bit weird thing about this game is that there's often a 1-frame window where you can actually input to an input, well, most of the time a jump. Like so, during future levels when we enter them, there's also a 1-frame window where you can actually input a jump. And if we would have jumped before actually talking to that Luma, we could actually skip talking to the Luma and getting the cutscene over there. It saves about 20 seconds, but since it's a 1-frame window, it's not the most consistent trick out there. So when we turned off all these panels that were on the ground, we actually unlocked the first star of the run, which is going to be a Grand Star. The Grand Stars are a little bit more special than the regular stars, which I will explain in a moment. So, for this run, we'll be collecting a total of 60 stars to unlock the final Bowser level. So this is the first one out of 60, and then in the final level, we'll also collect one more star, which will be the final star of the run.
Do we have time for a really quick donation?
Of course we do.
Okay, we have a €1 donation from Paulista with the comment, "Hi, Mom."
Alright, so now we get to the hub world of this game, which we're gonna be seeing a lot, because after each star you'll return to this observatory over here. And each time we collect a Grand Star, a little bit a bigger part of the observatory opens. So right now we're unlocking the first area, so you'll actually can see your progress on the ground there, and you can see that the first dome is unlocked, which will be basically our gateway to going to the other levels. So now that we're on the planet, we're actually going to get a little bit more of the story, so I'll go a little bit more deeper into the story than I did before. So Luigi, or Mario, depending on who you play with, gets invited to the castle by Peach to observe the Star Festival, because every 100 years a lot of comets fall from the sky, and it's really a beautiful sight to see. The reason that this happens is because of this comet observatory that flies by every 100 years. And that's what normally happens, but suddenly the ships stop because Bowser stole all the power stars, because that's the main fuel of the observatory. With that power, he also stole Princess Peach, and because of that, we're actually on our way now to find Princess Peach and hopefully save her. So, and the person we're talking to is this girl. That's Rosalina. She's a really nice girl, but she talks a lot, so unfortunately we won't see the last of her. Besides talking to us, she doesn't really have any use. Well, I guess she'll guide us to the final level in the end. So now that we're here in our dome, we can actually see one of the mechanics of the game, which is the pool star. You actually have to aim at the screen to actually grab it and make you actually be able to go to this level select screen. So now you see this level here. There are certain numbers on all of these worlds. That's the amount of stars you actually need to open them up. So for this one we only need one, and we need at least 3 to open the next one. So I guess we'll be heading out to this planet over here. So the first one is actually gonna have a boss fight at the end as well. And in here you will always get a little bit of a preview about where you have to go, but luckily I already know where we have to go, so we don't really need those previews. I'll be collecting star bits throughout the run though. In total we need 1,000 star bits to actually feed some hungry Lumas, which I'll explain, which will basically unlock some extra levels which are relatively fast. Also, we skipped a little bit of a segment there. There was a Luma there which would transform into a launch star, which actually would have brought us up to the where the big launch star actually was. But with a good timed long jump, you can actually get there without using him. So now we're avoiding these boulders over here. Unfortunately, I got hit by the first one, but it doesn't matter that much at this point in time. On this planet, I'll be attempting a skip. Normally, you have to kill the piranha. But I mess up my triple jump. If you actually do a triple jump on that block, you can actually prevent from defeating the piranha over there and using that fine. Anyway, we're gonna be heading up over here then. With a long jump, you can actually just clear that gap. And instead of defeating this big guy, which is kind of slow, we're just gonna be... Oh, these little blue guys can be a little bit annoying because they actually slow you down. But if you're just on top of here and do a side flip, you actually already go to the next planet. So now we're heading up here with a wall jump, and then after a wall jump you can actually do a spin to sort of reset your momentum. It's not entirely resetting it, but for the it will lose a lot of your momentum that you have at that time. That way you can actually get on those higher platforms after doing a wall jump off of them. So now first boss, really easy concept. It's kind of obvious where its weak point is gonna be. And there's actually a giant piranha in here. So he's just gonna try chasing us, and just like any standard Mario game, we have to hit him 3 times before he goes down. So that's the first hit. Now that he's angry, he's a little bit faster, but we can still easily dodge him by just walking around him really quickly. This time no cutscene, but we can still do the same concept, but then upside down. And that's the first boss fight. So there you actually see a regular star instead of the previous Grand Star we've collected. Those just don't have any of the special powers of the Grand Star. We need them though to actually to go to the next levels, but it won't unlock any of the new domes these levels are in. Also, you also see these little text boxes at the end saying how many coins and how many star bits we've collected. I'll try to, if I am really low on star bits, I actually will try to shoot out all my star bits before leaving the level, because it won't really lose any time shooting out those star bits. And if that text box doesn't appear, it saves like half a second. But since there's a total of 60 levels out there, or at least 60 stars that we'll be collecting, it can add up to quite some time. So now we're going back to the Good Egg Galaxy once more, but this time a different mission. In this mission we'll actually see one of the Hungry Lumas I was talking about earlier. So to actually advance to the end of the level, we need to collect a total of 100 star bits. So I'll be farming just for a little bit on this first planet over here. I'll be grabbing some really easy to grab star bits just so I don't have to go to any extra planets, because this planet is relatively fast to collect star bits on. So here we spin at the stone circle, actually grabbing a few star bits from this bush over here. And there's one more stone circle over here. These guys also give 1 star bit each, so I just try to get them really close to each other, so we just have to do 1 spin before actually spinning. Also more star bits from this box. Once we kill this little guy and grab these star bits, we're good for this planet. We're actually going to utilize this Luma and do a homing spin attack. Unfortunately, I didn't make it. But if I do a homing spinning attack on him, I'll just keep my momentum and actually fly up for a bit. It will actually skip us actually activating the other part of the level where you have to where you have to talk to a different Luma and activate the pad to the actual launch star. So now we're grabbing a few more star bits over here, and then we'll move on to the next planet, which I lost the crystal for a moment, but there it is. There will be a few star bits, which I can actually grab from this far away, but we're not landing on this planet though. We're just gonna continue to the next one, because that's where the Hungry Luma actually is. So here I'll break 1 more crystal, actually getting more than 100 star bits just to be safe. Technically you can miss here at the Luma if you start shooting too fast after talking to him. So I'll actually wait a little bit, but we're totally fine on not missing any. And he'll just grow bigger, bigger, and bigger, and bigger, and he's gotten really fat. But this gives him enough power to transform into a totally new planet, which we need to actually get to the star. So thank you, Hungry Luma, for transforming, even though we'll never see you in the Luma form again. So this part, they actually intend you to use some lower platforms to actually get up here, but luckily we know how to get a lot of height with our jumps, so we can just skip most of this planet. So now for this next planet, we're actually gonna... it looks like we're almost gonna land on the land star, but unfortunately we have to find a different entrance, and there's actually a little entrance over here in this crystal. And this is where we actually get to one of the 2D parts with switching gravity. Like, I can only move left and right now, I can't really move in a 3D space anymore. And the gravity is definitely... I'll skip some of the parts. Normally you have to just go all around, but again, with some backflips you actually gain quite some height. Here they ask you to... they want you to grab some pool stars and or star chips and actually make some pool stars appear to get to the star, but with just a long jump, it's just easy to do that. So now that we've gotten 3 stars, we're gonna go to the the next galaxy, and this next galaxy is gonna have a pretty big skip in it. To be fair, I'm not entirely consistent at the trick, so I'll go for it like 2 or 3 times. And if it really doesn't want to work, I'll just do the level the regular way. So here we go to the Honey Hive Galaxy, and as you might already see in the little preview of the level, there's actually gonna be a bee power-up in here, which is also implied in the title over here, but if we execute the skip correctly, we'll actually won't be seeing the bee power-up until a little bit later in the run. So here we get to the first part. First things first, we're actually gonna run up this slope. If we just keep on running and spinning at the same time, we actually can walk up some of the slopes which you would normally wouldn't be able to walk on. And then we're gonna do some movement here to actually get to the top of this planet. Also the slope back there is actually more slippery than the side, so I'll try. So I stay there on the side just to make the backflips a little bit more easy. And we're actually gonna get on top of this tree over here. And the goal is actually to get to the other tree on this planet. However, it's intended to actually go to a few other planets and then eventually land on it. However, there is a little spot where Luigi can just jump far enough, barely, to actually make it to the next tree. So hopefully I can do that. It seems good. There we go, first try. So instead of going to like 2 different planets, we just skip those entirely, and we're just gonna get up here, and there's actually Captain Toad. The first appearance of Captain Toad in any of the games. And he's so nice to us. He has actually found a star for us, and he's just gonna give it to us for free. What a good guy. So there we go, one more star. I think we're at 4 stars right now, so we're halfway through to the to unlocking the first Bowser level. But before we can do that, we actually get sent back to the start of the observatory, instead of actually to inside the dome where we originally were. Certain stars just trigger a cutscene like this, which actually turns you back to Rosalina, because she'll talk to you about what happened. This time it's the toads you saved actually are on the observatory now as well, which we won't be really seeing that much of the toads on this planet, but there will be one more person we'll be saving, which will be really helpful on this in the observatory. So going to the Honey Hive Galaxy once more, we're actually going to grab a total of 3 stars in this one. And this time the level has changed a little bit, because on top of this tower there's now actually an extra tower up there, which some beetles have been causing troubles for the bees over here. So let's help them out and see what's actually on top of that tower. Actually going to use the same path to get up the tree there, just because it's the fastest way to get up the tree, so why suddenly take a different path now? So we're gonna backflip against this wall. Oh, spin a little bit early. If you spin too early, you actually bonk on the wall like that. So that's a little bit slow. This skip is gonna be a little bit different this time though. Like, first things first, there's a launch star we have to avoid over here. And the camera is actually turned to the other side because the launch star is actually there. So this skip becomes a little bit more annoying, but we still get on there. Oh, if we don't slide off. You actually need to hold your control, actually slide a little bit towards where Luigi's face is heading, otherwise you can't do a spin which will reset your momentum. So now this wheel isn't turning at the moment, however, even though they really want you to start turning the wheel, you can actually land on top of here and make it up there if I don't... Oh, oops. Let's quickly get back up here. Oh. There we go. Oh, Luigi, don't fall off this time. Oh, that's not going to be enough. Oh, there we go again. Gone. Luckily we landed on the platform though. Oh, come on, Luigi. Come on. Luigi? So now that we actually got on top of the tower, we actually have to defeat this guy, which has a little buddy on top of his head, so which we unfortunately have to kill first. And then there's this big guy, which if you just stay over here, it'll just get to you, and you can actually quite easily hit it. So there we go. That's one more star over here, but I think the beetles aren't gonna be really happy about this, because we climbed up their tower and we've defeated a few of their family members. I feel like they are not gonna like this. So let's actually see if the bees are now completely free of those beetles, but I have a suspicion that this is not gonna be the case. Also, we currently have 70 star bits for the first level, which we'll be doing unlocking with those star bits. We'll need a total of 400. Oh wait, that's not the correct world. We have to go to this one. And we need, it will be around the 20th star from the top of my head, which we'll need that for. So with my rounding, it should be good to have 400 star bits by then, but it might, I might have to go out of my way in some levels near the end if I actually see that I'm on a low star bit count. So now we're getting to this planet over here, and I think the beetles are really angry at us because the bees are all worrying and they are all over the level right now. So let's go to the bee queen and see what she has to say to us about what happened. So we avoid those guys. Long jumping is usually the fastest way of transportation, so I'll be trying to do as many long jumps as I can. But yeah, the bee queen actually told us like that our neighbors on that planet over there are causing trouble, and we actually need to save them. Now we actually get to see the bee power-up, which we weren't able to see before because we did the skip. And with the bee power-up, you can actually fly over distances which you would normally not be able to make. They want you to use those flowers, which will actually launch you up in the air and get you to the next planets. However, B. Luigi has enough flight power to actually make it to the next islands on their own. So this guy also needs 3 hits to actually be beaten, and after the first hits, he's actually gonna start flying. And he's always on the same pattern, so it's really easy to predict where he's heading to actually figure out where he's going. So for the final hit, since B. Luigi is kind of slow, we're actually going to lose the power up by running into the water. However, we can get high enough with a backflip to actually hit him from up on top of there. So now that we unlock this star, we can actually quite quickly go to the star. Instead of being a slow bee, we can actually just long jump over there. So that's the final star we'll be grabbing in Honeyhive Galaxy for now. We'll be returning here later once some more stars have unlocked in here, but for now we can't unlock anymore. So in this game there are 2 different kind of levels, I would say. Like there are these levels where there can be many stars, like the 2 we visited before, but there are also these smaller galaxies which are in these question mark blocks. These question marks, these worlds actually usually just have 1 star. There's one exception where there are 2 stars in one of those levels, and these levels are usually a little bit more special. Sometimes utilizing a certain mechanic, as other times just providing an extra challenge. So in this level, we'll actually be utilizing some motion controls of this game, because this game, it did get released for the Wii, and it would really be a worry if they didn't utilize the motion controls at all. So we're going to be race surfing, and we're going to get a little bit of a tutorial over here. Actually have to hold the Wiimote to the front, and they're actually going to explain to me how the controls work. So to actually go left, you have to turn your controller to the left, but like, it wouldn't be clear what right would then be. They also have to tell you that. Anyway, then after the little bit of a tutorial, we can actually start race surfing. We aren't in the actual level, in the actual race yet, which we'll get to once we're back there. So yeah, let's just go there.
Do we have then time for a quick donation?
We definitely do.
Alright, we have 5 euros from Shimotsuki Frosty Hype. We keep donating for the Dutch Cancer Society.
So in this level, we there's not that much we can do to speed up, like the mental ray speed is pretty much set. Also, I'm trying to avoid the 1-up over here, just because the first time you grab a 1-up in this game, it will give a short explanation about what a 1-up is, just so you can die once more before getting a game over. It wastes a little bit of time, so I'll try to be avoiding all the 1-ups through this run. However, I can't guarantee it. Like, some 1-ups are just too much of an effort to actually get out of my way from. So yeah, to speed up this level, you can't do that much. Just trying to cut the corners a little bit will cut a little bit away from your time, but it doesn't waste that much time if I actually take it a little bit more slow. So I'll play it a bit more safe instead of taking the really sharp corner there. Still got a sub 1 though. Fun thing about this level though, you can actually still die after going through the finish line. If you actually jump off the stage right when you go through the finish line, you actually die, even though they say you already completed the race. I regret to say this, but it has happened during runs before, so I'd never jump off the stage anymore in the end, just because I think it would look fun. So we need one more star before we can unlock the next Bowser level, and this next level is gonna be a really short one, probably one of the shortest stars out there. Also, the Hungry Luma has appeared, which will be feeding just a little bit later. For now, we don't have enough starbits yet, so we'll not be going there. So now we're going to Flip Switch Galaxy, and in this galaxy, we have to turn all the switches from the blue question marks to the yellow explanation marks. And these spikes you see, they are actually on the same cycles, and I'll be trying to get it on the earliest cycle possible. It might be a little bit difficult with the spikes there on the right, which might actually block my path. So we're just gonna run around here, and that one is totally fine. Hopefully get a good cycle on this one. Yeah, we're easily done. Otherwise you have to wait a little bit before you can actually grab that yellow question mark, hit that switch before actually... sorry, I was always also half-thinking about making that triple jump. But anyway, if that spike is on top of the switch, technically you can hit it, but it's really difficult not to get hit when that happens. So making that cycle is a really good thing. So now we've gotten 8 stars, and with these 8 stars we finally have enough stars to unlock the next Bowser level. It's really unfortunate that we have to do some slow levels in this dome over here. It's just that there are only 9 stars available to us right now, and we need 8 of them to actually advance to the next dome. So there are 2 different kind of Bowser levels. First we have the Bowser Jr. levels, which involve beating Bowser Jr. instead of Bowser. And during Bowser Jr. levels, it's usually a pretty short level with a boss fight in the end. Besides the Bowser Jr. levels, there are also the Bowser levels. And the Bowser levels are have more of a challenge to actually get to the actual Bowser fight. But before we can head there, we actually need to clear this planet, and the launch star is actually in this little cage over here, and we need a bullet bill for that. But unfortunately, the gravity field of the next planet is really big, so just doing a triple jump off that cage actually skips breaking open that cage to actually get the launch star. It doesn't land us on the exact loading points where you need to go to trigger this cutscene. So we actually have to walk there. It's a pretty small spot to find, but I remember in my first few runs that I actually had trouble finding that little spot where it loaded, and I've just been jumping around that planet for so long. Anyway, we're gonna head to the leg over here. I'm actually not gonna do a long jump. Technically it would be faster to do a long jump, but if you do that, he'll actually turn up his leg a little bit faster than he would now. Now we could just easily jump up. So now we're going up here, and we're gonna use this bullet bill to actually break open this cage where you can already see the Grand Star, which we're gonna need to be collecting. But that isn't... we still need to continue though. The Grand Star is kind of protected now, so we're just gonna jump up here and actually make the bullet bill go a little bit higher, just so we don't have to break open the cage, and actually make him hit right on top of his head without needing an extra bullet bill. So there goes Mega Leg, and that's the first dome we've completed so far. And we'll be collecting the next Grand Star, letting us go to the next dome. There will be a little bit of a cutscene now, so if the host want to tell us something about what we're raising money for, now would be the perfect timing for that.
Of course, I want to tell you, we are running in support of the Dutch Cancer Society, an amazing charity which aims to prevent and fight cancer and alleviate the suffering of those already battling the disease. 90% of your donations will go directly towards the Dutch Cancer Societies, so get your donations in. And if you ever want to attend at a BSG, but you think, well, the next BSG annual, this will take a while. Well, we also have the monthlies, which will be a weekend-long marathon, so follow us on Twitter to get more information on those as they happen.
So now that we've unlocked the new dome, Rosalina will, of course, first we'll do a little bit of an explanation about what happens when we collect a Grand Star. So that beacon lights up in the middle and we'll actually be able to provide more power to the observatory. And this little guy, even though we can see it in the background, we already kind of figured out that the next dome has opened up. So let's go there as quickly as possible. Also, after each level, I just say no to saving. If you save, it actually takes a few seconds to actually move along. So you'll just try saying no. Like, this game is really forgiving. Even if you get a game over, they'll ask you to save anyway. So it doesn't really matter. You don't need to save at all. So in this next level, it's going to be the Space Junk Galaxy. And this level has kind of an annoying trick. It's sometimes it can act a little bit trash, or in this case it's a little bit junk, because, you know, space junk. Hopefully I can get it in one of the first few tries. By the way, I had to make that pun from someone who was actually next to me when I was practicing that earlier, so I hope I made him happy. So here we're gonna utilize a lot of these pool stars, but we can actually skip a little bit of this level by actually just releasing her from over here. We unfortunately couldn't get enough momentum from that pool star, so I'll just try like 2 more times, and otherwise I'll just do the level regularly. So let me take a little bit more time setting this up. And there we go, we just fly off all the way to this pool star over here. It skips a planet where we have to collect like 5 star chips on really annoying little planets where the gravity is really weird, so it, even with getting that skipped a second try, it will still save quite a bit of time. So now we're getting to this planet, and we're actually seeing a lot of these toads being stuck in here. And before we can actually continue, we have to save them all, because then suddenly Captain Toad can find us, because apparently for that the toads need to be out of the crystals. So we're right at the end of the level here, and here we're gonna see a mechanic where we have to collect silver stars. So the silver stars will actually form together into a big star, but we need a total of 5 for them. And there are these platforms that won't start appearing until you get really close to them. However, since I know kind of where the silver stars are, it's not that difficult to just do a long jump there and do sort of a leap of faith. So here's the final one. I'll do a side flip immediately after this, just because Luigi is so slippery. If you just don't do anything at this point, Luigi will just slide off the platform, and that would be really unfortunate to die right at the end of the level. So we're back here with the star, and we don't have enough stars yet to unlock the next level, so we're just gonna go to Space Junk again. And this time we'll definitely be taking a very different route, because this time we'll only start on the starting planet, but there will actually be an air fleet. And on the air fleet there will be a boss fight, which is a boss which we'll be seeing is actually is also in another place in the game, but since that is very late game, we won't be seeing it, unfortunately, in the any % round. I'm saying unfortunately, but the boss fight the second time can actually be quite tricky. So I guess I'm kind of glad that we don't get to see it again. Also, with that switch, the bridge would be lowered, but we don't really need to have that bridge if we can just do a long jump over. Over here, we're actually grabbing our first shell. These shells can be used to break open stuff like shells like that, or actually attack enemies. If you actually don't throw your shell fast enough there, the Magic Koopa can actually get in your way and actually block your pad to throwing the shell right at the last moment. It's really unfortunate when that happens. So here, we're hitting these two guys with shells, and we're actually going to be grabbing an extra shell. If I would use that Sling Star to actually get up there, I would lose my shell. But if we do a triple jump here, we already have our shell at the start of this boss fight, which is really convenient, because to actually hit this guy, we need to use some shells. It will eventually throw shells at us, so waiting for the first shell would be kind of slow. So with that first shell, we can just skip waiting for the first shell, and we only need to wait 2 times for it now. So now first he's going to throw some fireballs, and now he'll throw a shell at us. So before the final hit, he'll actually spawn 2 of his little Magic Koopa minions. Those can get really annoying if you don't deal with them, so I'll deal with them first. So there we go, 3rd hit, and that will gain us another star. So now the final level in Space Junk is really slow, so we won't be seeing that one. But we can't really go to the next big level yet. So luckily there's one of those smaller stages that starts appearing right now, and it's gonna have some more motion controls. Motion controls can be a little bit finicky in this game, but with the few levels that we are doing with motion controls in this game, in this category, it isn't that much of a hassle. Also, a little fun thing about these star selection screens. If you're not aiming at the screen and actually just press the A button, you select the first star that you haven't collected so far. It saves a little bit of time of actually aiming at the screen and clicking on it. For these levels, there will be one level later where we can't do that specifically, just because we don't need to go into one of the unselected one. But so far, you're actually not seeing the. Oh, actually, was already a little bit too fast. They're first gonna give you a little bit of a tutorial again about what to do, like that you have to hold the Wiimote upwards at this point. So now we go down this hole, and we just have to wait a little bit until Luigi gains some speed, and we get to the next planet, where we can actually start avoiding all these enemies, because you just roll over these enemies if you hit them. However, they will slow you down quite a lot, so I'll try to avoid all the enemies. However, if they're really blocking my path, I guess I can hit one just not to fall off the platform, but I think, yeah, we're good on not hitting any of them. So now right at the final part, and as you can already see, the stars in there, and we actually need just to get to this little hole over here to break it open. So they actually put star right on top of the flagpole, and with just doing little jumps and then spinning off of them, you just climb the flagpole a little bit faster. It doesn't save that much time, but hey, any time save is welcome, right? So now with this amount of stars, I don't even know the amount of stars from the top of my head, with 12 stars, we can actually go to the next level, which we'll be doing quite a lot of stars in here. And the first level is actually gonna be gonna have a favorite level of any speedrun ever in a platformer, an auto-scroller. Luckily, there's one fortunate thing about this auto-scroller. There is actually a lot of star bits you can grab during this level, during the auto-scroller, so we'll be using most of our time to grab as many as we can there. First, we have these few small little planets over here, which there are a total of 5 blue star chips. However, the launch star is already up here, and with a triple jump, you can actually just barely get high enough to get in here. That way, we don't need to do any effort to actually get to the next planet. Also, you can just do a backflip there and then do a spin to actually skip using a little spring that's down there. And now the auto scroller starts, and this is just gonna be avoiding a lot of these cannonballs. It might look really dangerous right now, but once you get closer, there won't actually be shooting as much as before. So there isn't really that much to do in this level. You can try to go for coins, but since we don't actually want to see the text box in the end with the coins, we won't be grabbing any coins. However, if I would get hit during this level, I might actually grab a coin just because I don't want to die. Also that when you grab that star coin, all these star bits start appearing, and those are really nice. However, a neat little trick about this level, like it won't be that necessary in particularly this star, but there is a different style later where you have to revisit this one and have to collect purple coins. For any player out there who has trouble with that, if you actually shoot a star bit at one of these cannonballs, they do drop a coin, which might get your health back, which you might need during that. So here we need to grab a bullet bill from all the way over here and actually break open the cage where it's going to be in. Hopefully I can let this bullet bill avoid that one, but unfortunately it was a little bit too close. Whether the bullet bill follows you or not is a little bit tricky around this planet. Sometimes it just takes a while before he actually starts following you again. Hopefully the Goomba doesn't get in the way, and he doesn't. And there we go, there's the star. So now we actually get sent back to the observatory again, and Rosalina's gonna tell us a little bit more about... I don't even know what she's talking about. I might actually recognize it by the cutscene. This is actually quite an important part of the run. Now, at this point, the comets, certain prankster comets will start appearing. And these prankster comets, those are a little bit those are challenges in levels you've already done before. So. And they will also gain you a new star from that. So there are quite a different kind of set of stars comets out there. You can have comets where you actually have to complete the level within a certain... Oh, that's not the level. It's this one. But yeah, there are challenges where you have to complete the level within a certain amount of time, where you only have one health before actually... have one health through the entire level, so you can't get hit at all. Racing a cosmic clone, which we'll be doing later. So, and those stars are usually a little bit faster than the original levels, usually not during the comets where you have to beat the entire level again. So we're actually going to be doing a comet pretty soon, like even in this level, but we'll mostly be doing the Daredevil Comets, which are the comets which only have where you only have one health, and races against a cosmic clone. So we gotta save this Luma, and to do that we actually need to have a bomb for that. So, and there's unfortunately only one place where they spawn on this planet, so I have to go all the way over here and bring it here in time. You have plenty of time here to actually get it there, but if you get hit by one of the chain jumps, it becomes pretty difficult to actually make it. So now we talk to this Luma, and we'll actually create a launch star for us to actually... Wait, no, those small ones are sling stars. The sling star will get me to the launch star, which will actually bring us to a little bit of a pool star pad. I'll just try going through it as quickly as possible. I might get hit here and there, but it isn't that big of a deal because you can actually just re-grab yourself, but this time I didn't get it. Sensor bar is a little bit finicky around the corners though. Like, it has the best range in the middle of the screen. Sometimes when you need to aim at the corner, it might not completely recognize it, which can get kind of annoying at certain points in time. Anyway, there's a Luma in here, which is actually gonna be stuck in a crystal, and the crystal actually consists of 2 layers. normally when you shoot at it, you only hit one layer first, and then you get to the other side where you have to unlock another cannon to hit the second layer. However, if you time your shot, you can actually hit both layers at once, which I couldn't do, unfortunately. So yeah, then I just get to see what happens when you miss it. So you have to grab another bomb and wait for this cannon, and it's really slow. I really hoped I could show up that hitting the double layer. Doesn't happen that often that I miss it, but whatever. So there we go, we quickly spin so we don't actually have to shoot again. And then right before the end we're actually gonna have a little bit of a final bomb we need to grab and actually open up another cannon to go to the star. This planet is probably the most difficult one to actually gather in time. These electric fences can be a little bit annoying, but jumping over them usually works a bit instead of finding the gap. So here we quickly shoot out of the cannon before the big red panel actually gets in front of it, and that gains us another star. I think we're doing quite good so far on the stars. Not any major mistakes so far. So we're already at 283 star bits, which is quite a good amount. Like I'd like to have over 300 before leaving the next level, and there are actually like 50 star bits I'll probably be grabbing around in this level. So I think we're gonna be good on starbit count. So in this level, we'll actually need to be we'll be exploring a few ships by these sort of aliens, which are these spinning wheels, which are not that easily destroyed. Actually, the only way to destroy them is hitting them into an electric fence, and that kind of makes it a bit of annoying to deal with them. However, because the only way to actually move. You would normally think to move them is spinning into them, which is it can get a little bit annoying if there are multiple of them around. However, what many people don't know, who don't speedrun the game, is that you can actually also hit them with a starbit, which actually creates quite an impact as well. So here I'll be aiming a starbit at this guy right at the start. Sometimes the angle is a little bit weird on them, but it will help sometimes with actually shooting it into the fence. Oh, there we go. So this Luma will create a little shortcut for us to go inside the mountain over here. At least I assume this is going to be in the mountain because we're actually entering a pipe over here. And in this pipe we're going to have to deal with some interesting gravity. Like there are these green arrows which can actually be hit to turn the gravity around. But we don't want to do that. Also normally you have to go all the way to the right here, switch some more gravity and actually stay on top, but jumping off that question mark block actually can also just bring you to the end of that segment. Unfortunately, I didn't get a triple jump off the block over there, so I couldn't make it immediately. So we missed a cycle there, but it's not that much of a time loss. So here, this is one of the guys which you can actually bounce on if you jump twice on them. It gains us enough height to get us to the Sling Star. However, you can make the jump with a triple jump, but the timing to actually avoid the lasers he's shooting out as well is a little bit annoying, but whatever, those things happen, right? Unfortunately, I missed this guy over here as well, so I have to spin into both of them. And here we open up the path to the next launch star, doing a ground bound there just to descend a little bit quicker than normal falling would do. So here we get to the planet where the boss fight is actually gonna be, and this boss is probably one of the more easy boss fights and probably also the fastest one, because this guy is just a bigger version of the guys we've seen before, and jumping on him and then spinning against him actually already does a hit to him. Sometimes he's a little bit close to the center and you are not able to immediately hit him into the fence. However, if he just bounces out of the way, you can get a pretty quick kill out of him. So at this point, I'm gonna just ensure that I'm on the correct route at the moment. Because the comets that are appearing, those are actually on cycles. And those cycles, if I start messing up with my route a little bit, then it can mess with the comments that start appearing. So I'll now and then look at my phone whether I'm still on the correct route or not. So with the 15 stars we have right now, we actually have enough stars to go to the Bowser level and actually start unlocking the next dome. So in this Bowser level there's going to be a little bit more of a stage we have to complete, which is a little bit of a challenge. Like, they're sort of testing you, like, what have you learned so far in this game, in this first hour here. So it's probably going to be a little bit more difficult than the stages you've seen before, but it shouldn't still be that difficult. So we're going to start off with this little bit of a sort of a bar pipe over here, and the gravity is just going to turn upside down over here. And long jumping, as I said before, fastest way of transportation, so we'll just be using that. I'm actually gonna play it a little bit safe here. You can actually make it that cycle before the swamp goes down. However, if you die there, it wastes time, and I don't really like wasting time on that spot over there. Those fire bars unfortunately hit me over there, but just doing a long jump over here actually can land you on the platform as well. And then we just have to wait for this swamp. So now we go up here, and we're actually gonna go over this swamp over here. If I can do it in time. Unfortunately I couldn't. But if you're on top of the swamp, you can actually use the momentum from him going up to actually gain a little bit more height and actually skip that little segment over there. Anyway, here's Bowser, and he's gonna shoot these meteorites at the platforms, and normally you have to walk all the way around here, but I guess the platform is getting pretty close over here, so we can just backflip up here. And one thing I really like about this game is the amount of detail they've put into Bowser's hair. Like, see how much it is moving. They must have put so many people at making it move so beautifully. So there we go, he actually takes us to a different planet over here, and the Bowser fights we're gonna be finding him multiple times, and it's gonna be a quite similar boss fight. There are these blue circles on the planet, which if he jumps on them, he actually hits the lava underneath. I had a little bit of trouble with Luigi's momentum thing over there. But yeah, if he jumps on one of those blue circles, he actually runs off and... Oh, let me quickly hit him over there. Actually try to spin underneath his head, so when he does his jump, he can actually... first of all, when I spin into him, he'll stop shooting his fireballs, which will quicken the cycle a little bit. But if I'm also stuck under him at the same time, the first jump will actually hit one of those blue circles. If you would just jump against him from the front, you actually get knocked away from the circle, which let him do another jump like that. So getting stuck under his head is a little bit faster, but it's not that big of a deal. Here I'm having a little bit of trouble with the Bowser. Like, when he starts running, he just goes the complete opposite way of where you are. But if you already start moving a lot, he might actually go a little bit at an angle, which you're not anticipating. So sometimes he'll just run around the planet a little bit more than you expect. So there we go, that's the Bowser fight, and he's just gonna quickly disappear because he's realizing that he's losing, and he's just gonna retreat for now. And in that planet was actually a Grand Star, and that Grand Star will unlock the next dome. And this will already be like the third Grand Star out of the 5 that we'll be collecting. It seems like we're already really far in the run, but one Grand Star which we can grab, we won't actually be grabbing, since it will only unlock an extra dome, which we don't need to actually go to the final level. Because to actually go to the final level, we need to have at least 5 of the Grand Stars. Like, even if you would collect 60 stars beforehand, I'm not even sure if that's possible. But you just won't be... Rosalina will actually tell you after the 5th Grand Star that you can actually go to the final level. So here we go, we unlock the next dome, and We're at 350 starbits, which is a good amount. We'll need to still need to grab some starbits though during the next few levels to actually get to 400. Like we'll be doing 4 more levels before we need them. So grabbing about 13 starbits per level should be doable. Wait, no, we're actually doing 1 more or 2. I need to take a look at my round in a moment just to make sure if I'm doing the correct levels. Anyway, we're going to the kitchen here. The intended way is going all the way around, but again, backflips are a really good friend of us in this run. Like, they let us get to so many spots, which the game doesn't intend you to skip a little bit. So here we're gonna go to the Beach Ball Galaxy, and the Beach Ball Galaxy is probably is one of the more interesting levels in this run, just because we're gonna be doing multiple skips in this level. First of all, we're gonna do a skip in this first level, and in this first level, you actually have to get on top of this little island over here, and to get there, you should be grabbing these starships that are hidden underwater. But as in any game, underwater mechanics are usually pretty slow, and I really don't like doing that, so we're just gonna find some other way on to the top of the island. So we're actually gonna go over here, and this tree is pretty conveniently placed because it actually is just high enough to actually make it to this part of the island. Then on this part, there's a little bit of a slope here that you can land on. Unfortunately, that slope is really slippery, so Luigi sometimes just slips off immediately before actually being able to do an extra jump of death. Hopefully I can... Yeah, this time we got it though. So that already brings us to the end of the level, which skips doing quite a lot. Thank you. I might make it look easy, but some of these tricks are... especially that triple jump there, sometimes it might seem really easy to get there on the slope, but sometimes just so slippery, and luckily I didn't like fall off like 5 times, which sometimes happens in runs. I mean, that never happens, right? Anyway, next level is also a pretty short one, and here they're actually gonna sort of explain a little bit more about underwater mechanics and see if you are actually well enough at swimming. So there are these penguins on this planet, and basically there's this big penguin over here which is leading some sort of a swim school or something. And to actually prove to him that you pass his class and pass the swim test, we actually have to find a golden shell. And with the golden shell, we can actually... The golden shell doesn't start appearing until we start talking to him. So unfortunately, we first have to talk to him. But if we're fast enough, we can... One of the penguins already has it. I don't know why he isn't returning it to the guy or the penguin, I guess. It's a penguin, not a guy. Also grabbing some extra starbits that are underneath here. But yeah, during the swimming you saw there, when I was going to the gold shell, I was actually spinning all the way over there. Spinning is way faster at swimming than just doing regular swimming with the A button, which he didn't even tell us about. What a bad swimming school, right? So yeah, I'll mostly underwater. If I can't find any shell near, I'll be spinning to actually travel as quickly as possible. However, the spinning does drain a bit of your oxygen you have underwater, especially with Luigi. With Mario, it isn't that bad how much oxygen you lose, but Luigi tends to lose his air quite quickly. So if there's a shell nearby, most of the time we'll go for the shell because that won't deplete my air as quickly as possible. So off to the next level, and this next level has quite an annoying skip right at the end. But luckily we aren't there. We first have to find some way to actually reach this planet in the sky. And luckily there's this crack in the wall, and it gives us a little bit of a hint where we might have to go at this point. Not entirely sure, but I think the preview made pretty clear where we have to go. I think it's over here somewhere, right? Did the preview show me this? Alright, enough fooling around. We're actually gonna be doing a secret first, because in this level there's also a secret launch star over here, and this will actually take us take you to a completely different part of the level, which will actually be grabbing a different star first. Don't worry, we'll be breaking up the cave a little bit later. And this part of the level actually gives a little bit of a sunshine vibe, like it's all a lot of flowers around there, and there are also cataquacks. The cataquacks will actually launch you up very high in the sky, which will make you able to reach certain spots, which you normally wouldn't. However, with the triple jump I did there before, you're actually just being able to hit that question mark coin right before, just barely, without actually needing the cataquack. For this part, however, we do need this cataquack, and the... Oh no, we lost it. We need to wait for it to respawn now. Hopefully my ice power-up will last long enough. I think we're good though. Oh no! The ice crystal was too close! Now I actually have to grab an extra one, that's really unfortunate. Alright, let's try that again. Now the cycle's a little bit better, so it shouldn't be that bad anymore. There we go, he'll just take us straight to the star. And now that we've completed this star, I believe we also have more than 400 star bits, so I don't have to worry about the star bits not for a little while longer. The next 600, which we need to unlock the second level, are actually, there will be way more star bits to grab, so that's going to be a little bit easier. So now that we've done that, we'll be doing the actual star in this one, and since we've already went into this star, we actually can skip the little cutscene at the start, which gives us a little bit of the preview, because the game also realized that if you've done a level once, they'll probably understand what you have to do in the level, even though technically we did the secret first. So we're gonna grab the shell from this penguin over here. Sorry, little penguin. There are enough shells underwater. I'm sure you can find another one. So we're quickly gonna go over here. I'm actually gonna jump on top of these boxes just so I can break them all at once. Otherwise, you need to spin twice, which is just a slight bit slower. Also, these bats can hit you there, but I just played it a little bit safe and actually jumped on top of them. So this planet is really annoying because if you get squashed by one of these guys, it's just an instant death. So there are these safe spots underneath their teeth where you don't actually get hit. However, we won't be needing those, I guess. I'm a little bit scared here for this one though, so I'm just gonna wait here for a moment. So right at the end of the level here, there's still quite a bit part left, but you can already see the star there in the corner, or at least the crystal it's in, so we're just gonna do a long jump over here. However, that wall can be kinda annoying, like you can't do a wall jump off the entire wall, so there are just spots where you just hit it, but are not able to do a long jump off of it. Luckily we hit it first try. So at this point I'm quickly checking my route, see if I'm still at the correct one. And we're indeed still at the correct one. So right now we're actually gonna go to a different level in here, and this level is gonna be interesting. Like, this will be a little bit of a throwback to my run yesterday. I don't know if people have seen that, but it actually contains Luigi's mansion. But since we're already playing as Luigi, I feel like there's not gonna be Luigi in there, right? Like, come on, how can he be somewhere trapped in there? So it's gonna be Luigi in the Haunted Mansion, probably because we're gonna be exploring it. But wait, huh? What's Luigi doing over there? That's strange. Must be right though. It was probably just a glitch, right? But okay, to be honest, it's actually supposed to be Luigi. Actually, the game also makes some really stupid jokes about that there are two Luigis around. But in the original, you play as Mario, and then it makes sense that Luigi is in there. However, for some reason, probably just because for the fun of it, they actually just let it be Luigi as well. Anyway, we grabbed the Rainbow Star there just so we don't... those boos are normally... They can only be killed in two ways, either with a Rainbow Star or actually being exposed to a bright light. However, unlocking the bright light over there takes a little bit of time, so using the Rainbow Star is definitely the faster option over there. So in here, we're gonna be grabbing 5 of these star chips again, just so we can move on to the next part again. Doing a triple jump up here, being just barely high enough to actually grab it. Then we don't go back to that part of it. We can just do a wall jump off the wall over there. So this next part is we actually should be grabbing a key to actually unlock the door and get in. However, the hitboxes on this mansion aren't completely solid, so there is actually a way to get in here. Hopefully I can get it though. Nope. Let's try again. That feels better. There we go. We're actually clipped into the mansion over here. And that clip is kind of annoying, since if you hit the wall there, like I did a few times, you actually lose your bubble and you don't actually get to bounce in anymore. Luckily that worked out in the end, but however, since we didn't grab the key, these lights are a little bit messed up. Like, even though the lights are moving back and forth, the hitboxes you see of the lightbox are just completely wrong, and they don't actually return you to the regular Luigi. So here we go. We're actually saving Luigi and double Luigi! And well, this won't be the last time we will be seeing the other Luigi though, because the other Luigi is actually going to help us quite a lot, because we can talk to him and he'll actually start looking for stars for us. And though 2 out of those 3 stars are really fast stars, so it's definitely worth getting those. Unfortunately, they're appearing in a set order, so unfortunately we also have to do the kind of a slower one just so we can get the fast 3rd star. So now that we're actually back in the main observatory here, we're actually going to talk to this Luma first. And this Luma needs 400 starbits to actually create a new level, which has a star in it. However, since we also need to talk to Luigi, we can just, while he's transforming and you can't use the launch star of this hungry Luma immediately, it's actually worth it to actually go to Luigi now, while we're still waiting for the launch star to sort of activate. That way we'll make the most of our time while running around here in the observatory. So here we go, other Luigi. And he'll actually send us a letter once he's found a star for us. Anyway, now we're going to this galaxy, and for some reason this galaxy always makes me hungry. It's called the Sweet Sweet Galaxy after all, and this level is just completely made out of cake. Oh my god, that looks so delicious. And I hope everyone also really likes the sound of Luigi long jumping, because you'll be hearing that a lot. So this entire level is basically long jumping and hearing Luigi screaming, yeah. 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 This isn't Kirby though, Kinnan. He doesn't say Poyo. Oh no, I bonked around. Whoops, goofed there a little bit. I guess we'll do the final part a little bit more. Guess we haven't heard enough yeah from Luigi. That final long jump can be a little bit tricky. Just technically, if you're at the highest point of your long jump, you can actually make it up there, but sometimes you just mess up there, so I'll just play it a little bit more safe and actually do a spin there to get a little bit higher. So now that we've completed this galaxy, we're not gonna go back to the kitchen straight away. We actually are gonna go back to the first dome, where we're actually gonna be going for our first comet, actually, because they've unlocked it a while ago, and we still haven't done anything with them, so since they're probably some of the faster stars, it's definitely worth to go for them right now. And alright, I forgot about the Luigi Letter. We're first gonna save Luigi, because he found a star for us, and we gotta find him. He gave us a little picture of where he's gonna be, and I kinda have a feeling of where he is, and luckily that isn't that far away from the start of the level. So he's actually in the Gusty Galaxy, and this is definitely one of the most intense parts of the run, because instead of collecting the grayed out star, we actually have to select a different star. Because as I've mentioned before, when you select a mission that you've already done before, you can actually skip this intro cutscene. And since Luigi is in any of the 3 missions, it's just faster to go to a mission you've already completed. And there we go, he's just on the roof over here, which makes us go up really easy with a triple jump. And there he gives us a sword just basically for free. Also, again, shooting away our star bits, preventing the little text box from appearing at the end of this level. And now we'll be doing the comets. This route is... the route is a little bit random of where you go at certain points, so that's why I just keep it open for during the run. If you play this game enough, I know like most of the route now from the top of my head, but just having the route next to me will help at certain points, because sometimes the route gets really confusing just because you have to deal with these comet cycles of comets appearing and disappearing after doing a certain amount of levels. So here we go into one of the Cosmic Comets, and in the Cosmic Comets we'll actually be raising Cosmic Luigi. And when you're actually playing this game as Mario, you're also racing against Cosmic Mario. And Cosmic Mario is actually way slower than Cosmic Luigi. Cosmic Luigi is actually quite fast. For a casual player, as a casual player when I played this game for the first time, these races were really hard. But luckily most of the Cosmic Luigi races actually have a skip. So in this level we weren't able to show it off during Honey Hive 1 because this would be the regular route, regular quote unquote. We're just gonna long jump off here and we actually get to the backside of this planet over here. But yeah, using that skip it makes the race actually quite easy. There we go, there's one more star, and now we're going back to the dome we were in before. Just making sure though... yeah. And in that dome we're actually gonna be doing another comet. And that comet is one of the comets I haven't mentioned before actually. Because I already mentioned the Daredevil Comets, where you only have 1 health during the entire mission. And the Cosmic Luigi races we've done before, but there are also the speedy enemy, or the faster enemy comets. Oh, no, it's the Fastfall Comet, that's the name of it, I forgot the name for a moment. And it's basically doing the regular level again, but then with the enemies going twice as fast. Like you would think that for most stages that wouldn't be really big of an issue, but you might have seen a level before which would kind of get annoying if it would be moving faster. So it's gonna be in the Beach Ball Galaxy, and it's gonna actually be the Stone Cyclone we were on before. Like, since we don't have to do the entire level anymore, it's one of the better stars to do in the routing. But this time the foes are moving twice as fast, which can get a little bit annoying because it's really easy to get squashed. However, with the routing I have, I'll avoid most of them anyway. So here I'm actually gonna do a long jump to the right. It's basically the same route as before, only we have to deal with the enemies being a little bit faster, and also the platforms being faster. Because apparently those are foes as well. I don't know why. So here we go, we're gonna do this long jump again. Oh, I spinned there. I spinned a little bit early there, so I wasn't able to get a wall jump off of that platform, so we have to do this again. Fun thing about the comments though are is that Nintendo kind of realized that they're harder than the other ones. So after each time you do the level, they're not just not gonna send you straight back into the level. They politely ask you to like, hey, do we want to try again, or is it gonna be too hard for you? But we're not gonna give in. We can do this. Here we go. There we go. Now we got it. So now we got one more star, and this is... Now I definitely don't know where to go after this. Let me actually see the next few stars. Alright. We're actually gonna be staying in this dome a little bit longer. Like, there are still a few fast stars out here, and the first one is actually one of the small levels again, which only has 1 star in it, and it actually has a new mechanic which we haven't seen until so far. We're gonna be in a bubble, which we actually have to move around by. Our pointer turns into sort of an air cannon, and with that we can actually move the bubble around. So in this first part of the level, we have to collect these 5 star chips all around, which unfortunately there's no way to skip this, so we'll just have to get into the bubble and actually see a little bit of the mechanics. And of course, Luigi screaming yeah. Certain games he screams Mario, in other games he screams yeah. Anyway, we're trying to utilize these fans, making us go a little bit faster through this segment by actually going in the direction they are blowing. Actually playing it a little bit safe here. That mine can... It is on a set cycle once you approach the planet. However, if you were just a little bit slow, it might actually be in a different spot than you actually think. So this is actually the second segment where you have to be in a bubble, but the star is right there, so I don't really feel like going into the oh, actually, stay on top of here, Luigi. You can actually just jump over there and actually go straight to the star, skipping the entire second half of that level. So now we're going back to the ghostly galaxy where Luigi's haunted mansion was. And this time we're actually... we're not going into the mansion, I believe. I already forget my notes. Let me quickly see. Luckily there's a lot of downtime during this game of Luigi entering levels and whatnot. So it gives me enough time to actually see to where we have to go. So we're not actually going to do the actual star in this level yet, where we'll be first grabbing the secret star in this one. And the secret star is probably one of the most easiest to find, because once you approach the planet, there's one point that really stands out. Oh, well, we first got to get off this little planet, and the Toad is happy about something. Don't know what, but we'll see. But there's this one stone spire over here, which is kind of shiny, and you know, shiny stuff is usually good, right? So let's just see what it is. And it's actually a launch star that takes you to the secret part of this level. So in this part we actually have a lot of places where we can die. All these... it's gonna contain all these circles where you can only stand, but around those are the only spots you can... those circles can start moving if I would have actually grabbed that question mark coin, but they will actually show the different parts of the level. It will actually start moving like this one. However, these platforms move really slow. So we basically are stuck in an auto-scroller again until we get right to the end. We can skip a little bit of the end of the auto-scroller by jumping up there a little bit early, because the platform where the star is going to be is actually already there though. So let's... No, I actually need this platform. Oh, that was not supposed to... Oh, I was a little bit late, so we just have to wait until we're actually on top of here. Actually need this key, and the final door that will open that actually contains the key. Contains the star that we were looking for. For now, we've grabbed enough stars here in this dome. Just keeping the comet cycles in mind, we're now actually going to do the Bowser Jr. level in this one. And this Bowser Jr. level... Well, this would probably be the longest Bowser Jr. level casually, but luckily, as shown many times before, there's actually going to be a pretty cool skip in this one. It's probably one of the easiest skips that I'll be doing, but you just have to know that you can actually do this. Because first we actually have to go into an air fleet again, and what the game intends you to do is actually go through multiple of these ships, and actually right at the final ship we can actually go to get on a riding platform that takes us to Bowser Jr. And you would use these cannons to actually go to the next one, which I'll also be using. But the one they're showing is probably not the one we'll be going for. Like, there's also this one all the way to the left, and you can just grab the pool star over here, and you'll be right on the final airship, right before Bowser Jr. So we're just gonna jump off here, and I'm gonna ride this platform. And this part is really scary for Luigi, so he's just gonna crouch. And whenever Luigi is crouching on this level, he will actually dodge all the cannonballs. So we can stay under there, and he'll be fine. Just try this. I just spin at those guys just for fun, just so you can see them going around a little bit. So here we go. Here's Bowser Jr. in his trusty airship, and we're actually gonna fight him He's not actually going to send a different boss to us like the other 2 Bowser Jr. levels. Actually, he sends us a different boss to fight us and escapes himself. But now he's actually quite brave, and he'll actually fight us himself. So we will find that. So this is one of the bosses that doesn't follow that standard standard Nintendo clause where you have to hit him 3 times, but it's the semi-standard hitting it 5 times. So we hit it 3 times to go to the second cycle where he actually turns around the ship a little bit, making his hitbox. Technically, it's just oops. This part gets really hectic if you don't pay attention. So let me actually first hit it. So yeah, even though the airship turns around, the hitbox is technically still the same. However, since we're most of the time throwing the shells forward, it becomes a little bit more difficult to hit. Luckily, we only missed like 1 of the shells, so we're still totally fine on this one. And this will be our next Grand Star, unlocking another part of the observatory, unlocking another dome, which we won't actually be visiting until a little bit later. Let me actually grab a little bit of water here, because talking for so long actually dries me out a little bit. That feels really refreshing. So you can see that we've already gotten 4 Grand Stars out of 6. And since we're only grabbing 5, we've almost unlocked all the domes that we need. So there we go, 28 stars. We're already almost halfway there. I think we're doing quite good so far. So now Rosalina will talk to us once more, telling us about that all the domes are now open on the bottom floor, but that we still need to unlock that next dome to actually turn into a flying starship again. So a very important thing over here is talking to this Toad, because this Toad actually has a letter from Luigi again, and he'll tell us a different spot where Luigi is going to be, and this is the slowest Luigi star that's out there, so we'll actually... But since the Luigi star after that is way faster, it's still worth it to go for it. But before we go save Luigi, we are actually gonna do a different comment in here, and it's gonna be a Daredevil Comet. So the Daredevil Comet's only 1 health, and it's basically 90% of the time it's fighting a boss you fought before. Like there's only 1 level in here that is a Daredevil level, but you actually have to do something else than defeating a boss. But since usually these boss fights are pretty fast, it's usually worth to go for them. So they already sent you to the planet he's on, and it makes his level really fast, especially since this is like the fastest boss fight out there. Oh, or at least the fastest boss fight in this game. There might be faster bosses in different games, I'm pretty sure about that. So there we go, same strat as before, just jumping on top of him. When you actually defeat all the smaller enemies around him, he'll actually start charging at you, making it easier to jump on top of him. Because if you actually start running around a little bit around in this area, he'll try to get away from you. But he's not very fast, so it's still pretty easy to jump on top of him. So let me look again at my routing. Before we go save Luigi, there's 1 more star we can grab in here, and that's the last we'll see of this little dome over here. And this level is a pretty interesting one. It's one of the... It also shows a little bit of, not really a mechanic, but a new trick on... Oh, not in there. We have to go to the question mark block over here. And it will actually show us a little bit of a new way to spawn a star, because so far the stars have either been stuck in crystals, or a boss character... you get it after defeating a boss fight, but for this one we actually gonna be collecting music notes, and these music notes, we have to collect them on a shrinking planet, or at least that's what the level is called, because whenever you stand on one of these platforms, it will actually start disappearing. And if you don't grab a music note and the platform is already gone underneath it, it becomes pretty difficult to grab them all. Luckily, it's a pretty easy one. There's actually a more difficult version of this exactly this planet, but with way more music notes on them later in the game, but we won't be doing that because it's pretty late into the run, which it isn't really worth for us anymore to actually go for it. So after grabbing all the music notes, we spawn the star and we can actually start saving Luigi again. And you know, earlier we saw an auto-scroller in this dome as well, and luckily, out of all the levels Luigi could have chosen, he hides in the auto-scroller again, and right at the end of the auto-scroller, so we're gonna be doing the same thing as before. So he's here in Battle Rock. There are actually two different secret stars in here. One is the star that Luigi is currently is currently in Luigi's possession, but the other one is I thought I already clicked that. And the other one is actually a secret star that probably brings back really bad memories for a lot of people who play this game casually, because it's like you have to clear out a lot of garbage with bombs, and I'm really glad that we're not doing that. It's not as bad as it actually is if you know some speed strats for them, but they can sometimes be a little bit annoying. Like one little mistake can already cause that you are not able to complete it anymore. Anyway, we're gonna be running around here again, and we're just gonna collect some more star bits, because why not? What else could we be doing in this level? We could try to show off of what Luigi can do, but so far I've kind of already shown all the mechanics that Luigi has. Like, we can mess around a little bit, like we can jump over this thing instead of actually going to the side. We can quickly go down and go back up. I really don't know what to talk about this level. Like, it's the exact same as before, only the end will be a little bit different. Again, collecting all the star bits. And you know, I don't really want to go to the bottom. That's really scary down there. Like, I can't even see if I'm safe down there, so let's just stay on top, right? So now this electric fence is slowly approaching, avoiding the cannonballs. And we're actually at the end of the auto-scroller, finally. Ah, that took so long. So we're right at the end here, but we don't really see Luigi yet. For that we actually do need a bullet bill for him though, because we did see him in a cage in the picture. So he's actually just down here. It's a little bit more difficult to lead the bullet bill down there, but nothing too terrible. And here Luigi actually found a star for us, and it's actually not the regular kind of star you would see. This is actually one of the green stars. In this game there are a total of 3 green stars, and once you collect all 3 of them, they'll actually unlock some challenge levels, which will be utilizing the motion controls. So there will be a challenge level which will be one where we are standing on a ball, one where we actually have to are in a bubble and use our air blower to do it, and there's also a mentor racing one. They're pretty fast stars, however, we'll actually be grabbing also 2 of the 3 green stars. However, the final green star is in a really, really slow level, which like almost any runner of this game hates, so luckily we're not going to that level, but it does skip out on getting some of those fast challenge stars. So now that we're back in this dome, we're actually gonna go... I'm pretty sure we go into this one. We indeed do. Luckily I kind of remember the route. So in this level, we've already entered this a little bit before, but we're actually gonna be... this time we'll be going the regular way. And there's this guy that we're gonna be racing, and I feel like it's kind of an unfair race, because I feel like the Boo knows we can't fly. However, the Boo... Yeah, we're just gonna do a race which is in midair. Luckily there are some pool stars which can help us through, but it still seems like an unfair race since you can just flow through the entire course. It is a really cool looking Boo though. Like, I really like the helmet he's wearing. So here we're going through the entire pool star path once more. Well, not once more, we haven't done this before, but using pool stars again. And there's these pieces of meat in air. I have no idea what they are doing there. I'm not even sure if there are supposed to be chunks of meat, but this is... I just don't know why they're there. When you actually hit them, they're actually quite bouncy, and they can actually mess a little bit with you. Like, if you get stuck in between two, it can really slow you down a lot. However, luckily we didn't get hit by any of them, so this is probably going to be a pretty fast racing segment. If I can actually make it to the next one. There we go. It's a little bit annoying that the camera is blocked by that big pool star planet over there, but we still didn't even have any sign of the Boo racing us. Oh, I shot a star bit over there. Didn't mean to do that. So, at least he's fair though, like, even though we beat him, he's still a nice guy and actually gives the star that was the prize of our race. And in this next level is, I briefly mentioned this before, but before I said these secret levels all have, well, secret levels, these smaller levels, each have 1 star in them. However, right now we'll be going to the only one where there will be two of them. And one of them will also be one of the green stars. It's a really fast star to grab. It's way faster than actually doing the regular level. But we'll also be doing the regular level after this anyway. And this level it's going to contain quite a bit of water, and we actually have to maneuver down there a little bit. So, unfortunately, water levels, they're slow, but we luckily don't have to stay underwater for that long. So, before we can actually move on, we have to utilize some more bullet bills. But this time, they're not going to be the black ones, because those don't really work underwater. So, we have these underwater bullet bills. And they are really, really, really slow. So you see it approaching this thing over there, but there we go. That took a while before it actually hit it. So now that we actually hit that little anchor, actually a part of the level gets raised up and we can actually move on. Also, I lost a little bit of health there because I was out of air. That's what happens when Luigi stays underwater too long. It'll slowly get damaged, but, you know, money makes the pain go away, right? Oh. We're actually gonna jump on this one, and because the first one is on top. Oh. Let's try that again. But if you actually do a backflip when he's still going up, you actually gain a lot of upwards momentum, which actually skips a little bit of that segment over there. Also, these little platforms are actually supposed to spin around once you spin that little screw down there. However, we don't really need it. Like, the only one that's Starship that's kind of hidden is actually in that platform I just did a backflip under. But if you do a backflip under, it actually makes you able to grab it without actually activating the spinning platforms. So now with 5 pool stars we can actually go to the next planet, and we're almost at the end. This star is actually hidden in this planet, but we first have to avoid these lasers and open it up. And even though you thought we were done with water, there's just this little bit of water left on this planet. There are a lot of stars in here though, which it's difficult to grab them all, but I'll just grab as many as possible. So now that we grabbed the regular star, we can now also go for the secret star. And the secret star it's way faster than the actual star. We still need to utilize an underwater bullet bill, but luckily after we've done that, the end of the level is pretty close. So going back to the buoy base. Also, there's a reason for me actually doing the regular level first before doing the secret. If I would have done the regular level, the secret first, I wouldn't have to point at the screen at all, which you might think it would be faster. However, now only one star showed up on the star selection screen. If I would have grabbed this secret star first, there would actually be 2 of those stars popping up. And they do take a little bit of time to actually show up, so in the end it saves like, I think, like half a second. It's not much, but why not take the time save if you can do it? Anyway, here we have to get a bullet bill over here and actually maneuver it to uh, the star that's hidden over there, but oh, oops. I hope it still hits. Oh, that's unfortunate. I didn't mean to hit the electric ball over there. Anyway, we'll just grab another one and do the same trick again. Hopefully this time don't get hit. There we go. So another green star. This time Rosalina won't explain to us what they mean, because that's the reason why we got sent out of the first zone when we grabbed the first one. But we're basically done in this zone for now, so we're actually gonna go to the next zone, which unlocked. It's been a while since that 4th dome unlocked. You would almost forget that we've already beaten Bowser Jr. in this dome. And in the next level we'll be doing, it's actually gonna... It will have my favorite music of this game. Like, this game has pretty good music in general, I would say, but just this next level is just... I just love it so much. If I'm correct on my routing. Yeah, I'm good. So we can already go to 3 of these levels. We'll only be going to 2 of them, so one of them won't unlock. Just because it's a really slow level in general. So here we go in Gusty Garden. And Gusty Garden, as I said, I can't say it enough, but the music in this level is just so beautiful. So probably I won't be talking much during this level because these levels are pretty straightforward. So please enjoy the music, because it's really good. So we're using these dandelions to actually get to, well, I'm not sure if they're dandelions, but they kind of look like it. But with this final dandelion in this level, you can actually, they want you to land on that planet. However, if you keep flying for just a little bit longer, you can actually already go to this planet over here, which skips a little bit of time. Then down here, there's a fine. And then we defeat this guy to move on forward. So on this planet we'll be catching another of the bunnies, and as I did right at the start of the run, shooting a star at it will actually stun it, making it easier for us to catch. I'll try hitting it right at the start here, so it will actually... If you hit it right at the start, for some reason the bunny starts running the other way, which makes it really able to catch it right over there. So that's 1 star here in Gusty Garden, but since I like this music so much, why just not do all the stars in here? Like, let's just enjoy the music while we can. I forgot that I needed to press on no actually there, but we're good. So this next level is probably gonna have my least favorite planet of them all, just because it's first of all, the planet is kinda tricky, so to say, and one of the mechanics in the games, which also shows up here, which I really don't like that much. So first part of the level is gonna be pretty similar, using these dandelions, flowers. I still don't know what they are. Also, when you grab these star coins, they'll actually start spawning more, and once you grab the final one, a lot of star bits will appear. And since we still need quite a lot of star bits, I'll go for them and actually grab a lot of them. Oh, that was a little bit early, but we're still landing on this planet. So now we're getting on this planet with these moles. These moles are underground, and to actually get them out, you have to hit them, do a ground pound, and then hit them. However, if they're not on screen, they're actually not moving at all. So you might actually be... Oh, that's actually pretty good that I found 2 of them at once. But it can become pretty difficult to find them because you expect them to be constantly moving. However, since you don't see it right now, it's actually still right at the back there. But yeah, Really unfortunate I missed the double over there. But the third one is right here. This is still pretty good how the plan went, even though I missed the double. Sometimes you're just looking around for the final one, and it's just, since it's off camera, it's just not moving, and you need to go to a very specific spot to find it. So these next few planets, like, we actually have to use this caterpillar, even though the planets might seem really close. But Nintendo, they are not very good at placing invisible walls, but this is one of the levels they did place them though. So we can't jump from apple to apple without using the caterpillar. But we can skip this little part though and actually do a triple jump towards the launch star. Technically you can let the caterpillar go, hit a final of one of these buttons and actually let the caterpillar come out of the apple again, and then you're able to reach it. But with seeing so many moles throughout the levels, it wouldn't surprise you that the boss fight of this level is gonna be a big mole as well. And he's chasing this bunny, and the bunny he's just really helpless, but luckily the mole isn't that fast. So technically if you just wait here, the bunny will just keep on running and running and running, and it'll just outrun him forever and ever. And suddenly when that happens, the bunny is able to jump into the tree. Like, it couldn't do that before for some reason. Anyway, we're doing ground bound here. I'm actually shooting starbits at the boss. Usually when you shoot starbits at bosses, like with most of the bosses, they actually start moving more slowly. And since we have to run after it, it really helps us getting there quickly. Also, when you would only do one ground bound there, the mole would actually hide for a little while and actually start charging you once more. However, if you do 2 consecutive ground bounds, like right after each other, you already hit him a second time, making him come out right away. So there we go, another level in Gusty Garden. And we're already over 400 starbits. I can probably stop collecting starbits pretty soon, because there's gonna be like one level where we'll be able to grab like 150, I believe. And since the text boxes that appear after a level, if you still have starbits in your inventory, it will cost us time every time. I'll probably be shooting out most of my starbits from this point out, as long as I remember though. I might just forget in a level here and there, and we're just gonna overshoot the amount of starbits by a lot. So here we're gonna use the flowers, and we actually need to grab all these question mark coins, because we're going for the secret first, even though it's slightly fast. It would have been slightly faster to first go for the regular star. However, since you need to hit all these coins and you can miss them, I prefer playing it a little bit safe. Just if I miss a coin, that I can just do the regular level as a backup. But the reason why we have to grab all those question mark coins is only then this rainbow Luigi will start appearing. Because as you saw in the corner, or you might have seen it in the corner, but there's actually this golden change up, and it has a star in it. So that's a really fast star. Like, I didn't even expect it to be on that side. So it was really fast opening that one. So far we've gotten 3 stars in here, and you know, I still can't get enough of this music, so let's just go in again. And now we're actually gonna do the actual star. And again, since we've already seen the star, we can skip the intro cutscene, so sometimes it throws me a little bit off though, when I enter a level where I've already seen the cutscene, like, I just expect there to be a little bit of a cutscene that I can just do something else, but when I'm suddenly already at the start of the level, it can mess kind of with me, but so I kind of have to remember that now and then, but it's not that big of a deal. So we're still going for all the coins though, because even though we don't really need it to continue the level, it still will make this planet a little bit faster. Just not only can you can't get hit by the boulders, you also run faster, so you don't have to deal with any of that. So here we go to these next few planets, and these planets are gonna have some star chips on them, which we need to be collecting. These star chips, they want you to climb in a lot of these poles to actually jump off from them and then grab the star chip. But you can also, when you go to the next planet, you can actually do a long jump to them and grab them. Final star chip right over there. And going to the next planet. And on this planet we can actually do a really cool looking skip. Well, maybe not that cool looking, but it's still a pretty cool skip. Because, well, we have to deal with these gravity changing planets. And it's, you know, that kind of gets annoying after a while. So we just long jump over there and hit this arrow really early. And that way we can already jump to the final planet of this level. Oh, if Luigi actually wants to jump up there. There we go. I also realized that I grabbed a lot of starbits during this level, so we're gonna have more than enough starbits in the end, I can guarantee that. So, now we've got 4 stars in Gusty Garden, and it seems we're about done here, right? Well, luckily, we can do 1 more star here, and we can actually do the Comet in here as well. And then we can move on after enjoying the level so much. I always like doing this level. Not only because of the music, but the levels itself are also pretty fun. So we're gonna finish off here with the Daredevil Comet. And with most Daredevil Comets, you can already pretty much predict what we have to be doing. We're gonna fight the boss again. This time with 1 health, which shouldn't be a problem. But to be fair, it can happen that you actually get hit if you mess up a little bit. I can't deny that I haven't died on this level before. One unfortunate thing though is this time we don't have any starbits when we reach the planets. So we actually don't have that many starbits to shoot at him. Like once we hit him once, he'll drop a couple of starbits. Those will usually be enough to actually slow him down enough, but if you're actually your aim is a little bit off, you can actually not slow him down that much, costing some valuable seconds. But it still is fine. After you hit him a second time, he'll drop quite a lot of starbits, so then usually you're fine. I already start shooting them a little bit, just so I can have 0 starbits in the end. There we go, we're at 0, so I don't have to bother with shooting the starbits after this. So, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to Gusty Garden, but it didn't give us any trouble, so that's at least good. So now we're gonna head off to probably another one of my favorite galaxies. I really like this dome. If it wouldn't be for the 3rd level that is in here, though, like the next level we'll be doing, it's gonna have a little bit of a cliche I don't really know the words, but this level is gonna be the half of the level is gonna be ice, and the other half is gonna be fire. And first, I really like the setup of how the levels are made. Like first you're going to an ice level, after that you're going to a fire level, and in the end they both come together, and you're actually doing a combination of ice and fire. So here we get a little preview of this big ice block on top of here, and yeah, you might think that we have to be going there, but I don't really want to go there yet. We're actually going to be grabbing a secret first. So here's a little penguin which we need to be catching, and this is also technically we've already seen some ice mechanics when we grab the ice flower, but this level is going to have way more. And this is probably one of the few games that I actually enjoy the ice physics. In most games it's just really slippery and it gets really difficult controlling, but since Luigi's already slippery, it isn't that much of a change on the ice. But actually, when you spin when you're on the ice, you actually start ice skating, and then when you do a long jump, you go really fast. Oh, I spin there a little bit early, so I have to do another long jump over that. Grabbing this coin over here, making us a Sling Star. And then we're actually gonna grab this Ice Flower over here. And with this Ice Flower we can go to a different part of the level. It's a little bit hidden, but... and it's kind of far away from an Ice Flower, but if you just long jump down there, it's usually fine. Now that I think about it, I didn't even need the Ice Flower. I don't even know why I went for the Ice Flower. You can just backflip up there. Oh well. Little routing mistake, those can happen. And now we're grabbing Fire Luigi. Really weird seeing the Fire power-up after the Ice power-up, like since it's like one of the most iconic Mario power-ups out there. And the Ice, the Fire power-up is what you expect from it. Once you get it, you can actually start throwing fireballs. I need to hurry up here actually. I barely made the cycle. I got hit there by the bats and they actually freeze you, which stops you for a while, but the timer on the Fire Flower doesn't stop, so once you get hit once, it makes that cycle becomes pretty difficult to make, so and you actually have to go all the way back to grab a new Fire Flower. Also, I'm messing up my angle over here. Let me quickly get back on top of here. The intention here is to actually go all around the level with your Fire Flower, destroying these snowmans. But since my name has frost in it, I don't really like melting ice and snow that much, so I'll try to avoid doing that as much as possible. So here we go, we're right on top of the level, that's where we'll be grabbing the secret star. So now, I think at this moment we have 40 stars, approximately, so that's already 2/3 of the way done, and I feel like we're on a pretty good pace. There's 40. Also, again, more star bits. We're gonna have more than enough star bits. Anyway, we're going to the regular level over here, which we're actually gonna go to the top and actually fight this boss over here. So for now, we have to do the first part. It's gonna be exactly the same. We have to catch this penguin over here. And hopefully I can do it a little bit faster this time. With just 2 long jumps you should be able to immediately grab it. So there we go. Just the same as before, I'm going to the launch star. But once we grab the Ice Flower, we're gonna go the different way. We actually needed to actually get to the top, and hopefully I can move fast enough to actually get all the way to the boss with just that one Ice Flower. Otherwise I need to swim a little bit in the water, which is can be a little bit annoying. Since the water in this level, since it's such a cold level, is actually freezing cold. And it being freezing cold, Luigi can't stay in that long, so he'll slowly get damaged by the water if he stays in too long, so swimming in this level can become really scary if you stay in too long. So I'd rather not get in the water at all. So here we go, he's gonna shoot some ice balls at us, but since we still have the ice power up, we can still go over here and quickly make it up here. We can still use this ice platform. So here we go, he's gonna shoot some ice balls at us, and when you spin near him, he actually becomes a little bit smaller, and you can actually hit it with an actual spin. Second phase, exactly the same, just shooting ice at it again. Spinning at it again, oh my god. It's getting a little bit late for me, but still it's not as bad as I would have expected it for being like 2 AM. Anyway, that's that boss fight, and now we're gonna go to the fire part of this level. And in this fire part, if I already see someone really happy behind the hosting station, but there might actually be coming a lava boost coming up. Unless I play really well. So, who knows, maybe I'll play well, maybe not. And now I can just say if I make a mistake that I just wanted to please the guy on hosting station to do a lava boost. So before we actually get to the entire fire planet, we're gonna start out on the same planet. We have done the previous 2 times, but this time it's gonna be a little bit different, since this time we don't need to catch a penguin, but we have to collect some star chips. And ice skating mechanics are pretty interesting around these crystals. If you actually do just skate into them without holding the control stick and then spinning, you actually lose all of your momentum, which makes it quite easy to actually grab these star chips. Also, I missed one somewhere. There it is. So if you actually spin while you're not holding any control stick, it actually gives you a little bit of time to actually adjust your positioning to actually grab the star chip, because you can't even grab the star chip immediately once you break the crystal. So sometimes you just skate through the crystal and you don't grab the star chip, which can be annoying. So here we go, we're at the fire part of this level. And actually lava boost! Since I already got damage here and I will play it a little bit safe, I'll be grabbing an health mushroom over there. Technically you don't need them, it just gives you a few extra hits to actually make it through, but I'd rather not use it. Lava boost. Since I don't really need it, usually when I grab that mushroom I call it the mushroom of shame, because it's kinda shameful to do because you don't need it, but you're still grabbing it. Anyway, we're going right to the end here. We need this fire flower to free the star from the cage. However, the fire flower is kind of interesting because if you keep spinning fast enough, you can actually hover a bit in the air, which actually makes it possible for us to hover here until the platform actually appears. So there we go, that's the fire level. I hope host was happy with the lava boosts. 5 out of 7. I like it.
I think there is there's still some time to improve it.
Well, to be fair, there is still this. The 3rd star in this one is gonna have some fire as well, which maybe if I mess up, maybe we'll see another lava boost. Who knows? The thing I really like though about this level is that in the level name it actually has my nickname Frosty in it, so whenever I see that I'm always like thinking that it's gonna be a race against me, between me and Cosmic Luigi. Like they knew I was gonna be speedrunning this game. Anyway, we're gonna be on these few platforms which don't really seem familiar yet. Normally they send you to a part of the level you've already been before, but for some reason they already unlock this comet when you after collecting 2 of the stars, because we won't be seeing this segment until the 3rd star of this level. Anyway, we're doing some long jumps over those gaps over there just to skip a little bit of this level, and then right at the end here we're just shooting away our star bits and doing a final long jump. Oh, and not just luckily I didn't jump off in the end. So that's 1 more star, and now we're gonna actually be doing the regular level where we're gonna see those platforms. And this level is pretty cool with the ice and the fire colliding. I still haven't figured out how the ice hasn't melted everywhere yet, because if you can do lava boosts of those fire things, it must be pretty hot, and I feel like ice would melt pretty quickly. I just don't understand Mario physics. So here we go, the hot and cold collide. So as you can see in the preview, there will be some lava, there will be some ice, and just throwing in the entire mix. So on this first, oh, hang on. On this first little planet, it's the same as before, but this time there's just a lot of lava around, and just doing a back long jump over there actually skips like going through over that entire planet. So on this planet we actually have to find a fire flower somewhere to actually light those candles and actually proceed. But it doesn't seem to be on this very cold side. Like, why would there be a fire flower over here? Just too cold for that. So let's just head to the other side of this planet, and there's actually going to be an entire fire side. And we skip this segment over here, which involves going around the level with a lot of lava segments, but it's really slow because you have to wait on cycles and whatnot, and that's really annoying. So here we're gonna light the 2 candles, and the launch star appears, and then we actually get to the platforms we've seen before during the race with Cosmic Luigi. There we go. With the ice flower you can actually walk on fire for some reason. I don't know how lava and the ice actually wins for some reason. I don't know. As I said, Mario physics, they are weird. Oh, that was really weird. Anyway, we didn't fall off. Sometimes when you flip around there with gravity it might mess up a little bit if you start spinning too early again. But we didn't hit anything, luckily, and especially we didn't fall off the platform, which would have been even worse. So that's gonna be the end of this world, and I'm quickly gonna look where I was supposed to go. I think we're going to the Bowser level. Oh no, there's one more star we need to grab before that. Because this will be the level where we'll be collecting the rest of our star bits, because there are a lot of them in this one. And since we do need some extra, still need some star bits, and in this level it's most easiest to farm, so why not do it in here? So this level, as you might already see that, get an idea that the B power is gonna play a role here, and it definitely will be B for the entire level. Fortunately, we can't skip any of the segments, so we just have to use the B and we can kind of skip some little segments by just flying over these little segments, actually not following the intended route. Just by hovering slowly. If you hover too much, you actually get away from the gravity field of the planet, so instead of aiming... Oh wait, I already have the B power up. I don't need to grab that again. But yeah, currently the gravity is, once you land on one of the honey grades, it actually kind of keeps your gravity towards the wall. Or if you start hovering too much, it actually starts aiming down again, which can kind of mess with you, especially if you were just about sinking to land. Anyway, we already grabbed 100 star bits, even though we only needed 50, so... And there's still quite a bit of the level coming, which we can still collect quite some star bits. So yeah, normally you want to shoot your star bits during levels where you don't grab as many, but you know, to be fair, I forgot in many levels to actually not grab the star bits, like in the 120 star category of this game, where you actually collect all the stars in this game. You actually need to farm for a lot of star bits. So since I've been doing that lately as well, I've just been so focused on collecting every star bit I see that it kind of rubs off on me during the any percent route as well. So now we got 45 stars and we can actually go to the next Bowser level. And in this Bowser level there will actually be lava again, so maybe we'll see a lava boost. At least I think there's lava. Is there lava? I'm not sure. One thing for sure is though, I'm definitely not landing in it. Oh right, there's purple goop in this one. Sorry Indy, no lava. I'm getting a really mean look here from Indy. And apparently also a happy look from the couch. So, oh, as you can see there, that's sometimes when Luigi mechanics are kind of annoying. If Luigi's can be indeed a little bit slippery, and sometimes you just slide off a platform when you don't really want to. Here we go. We can do a long actually make it up here. That was kind of weird, but at least we didn't fall in again. But yeah, these purple things of goop are instant death, so it's definitely important to not fall into those. Also, there are a lot of these platforms which you... Oh, hang on. These platforms that you need to be riding, but the platforms are usually pretty slow, so we'll just try to skip them as much as possible. There we just do a triple jump to actually make it high enough. And then on this segment, actually gonna wait just a moment, just so the platforms will start moving a little bit closer. Then after that we can do a long jump over here. So actually we have to avoid that. Technically you can still stand on the edge of those platforms while you're going through the... Oh. On. Whoops. Hopefully I can still make this cycle. There we go. We're landing on this one. And there's actually quite a skip coming up here. Instead of riding this entire platform, we're just gonna do a long jump over here and just fly all the way to the next platform. There we go. So now that we're here, we're quickly gonna do a backflip, hopefully bouncing off the Goomba, actually making us land on this platform immediately. And we can actually... when you free these Lumas, they actually create stairs, but as you saw with the first one, we can actually just skip them. Technically you can also do it with the second one, but since the platform it's a little bit further away than that first one, I usually just go for the Luma on the second one. And here we have Bowser again with his amazing hair. Like, look how well that's animated. So now Bowser has learned a few new tricks, like he'll start jumping more, creating more of these circles. And before he actually jumps, he starts spinning at us. Like, we can also... But whenever he does that, you can actually spin back at him, actually making him stop with it a little bit faster than it would than just waiting for him to finish spinning. Now he's also going to shoot some fireballs, which he won't be aiming at us anymore. He's just going to shoot them around. But if he hit us still, he'll just stop doing that, and he'll start going into his next phase of spinning. Yeah, of just spinning. Here we hit him again. As you saw earlier, like he actually did 2 spins this cycle. They'll just increase by 1 every cycle. So during this one, he'll actually do 3. Didn't mean to get hit by the lava there. Kind of a lava boost. So here I'm playing it a little bit safe, just because I don't want to get hit too often. Because there are a lot of fireballs around here, and it can kind of mess you up if you are not paying attention. So here we go, 1 more hit. I'm actually gonna start shooting my star bits, because we already have over 700 star bits, which is more than plenty. So here Bowser retreats again, and he thinks we're never gonna stop his master plan. But, you know, we don't actually need that many more stars anymore to go to the final Bowser level. This will be number 46, and the final dome will actually have quite a few fast stars in them. Anyway, another grand star, the final one we'll be grabbing, well, unless you count the final star we grab after the final Bowser fight. But we're actually unlocking the next dome, and now Rosalina will also tell us about how many stars we need to complete this game. And, well, technically, she doesn't really literally use the words complete the game. It's just how many stars we need to reach Bowser in the center of the universe. Because that's apparently where he's hiding Princess Peach. Because Rosalina told us at one point in time that he's at the center of the universe, but I'm not sure how she knows that. Princess Peach and Bowser are both there at the moment. She does have some special powers though, which aren't really well explained why she has them. So most of the final stars are going to be grabbed in the final dome, just because most of those stars are actually... There are quite a few fast stars in there, so it's definitely worth to go up there. Anyway, we need 14 more stars to reach the center of the universe, so let's quickly continue that. I actually have to go up there using one of these teleporters. Like beforehand, I already skipped using these teleporters by going to the fountain with just a triple jump. But those actually just transport you to the other side, but they can be kind of slow for certain segments. Unfortunately, we can't skip that one. And since we already collected quite a few stars in the area, we already opened up most of the levels over here. We also already opened up the Bowser levels, but so we can just do whatever... Basically, we can do whatever we want in this one, in any order, I think. Just making sure I'm doing this in the right... it's not the exact order, but I don't think it will mess up the Comet cycle, though. I hope, at least.
Would you mind if I take second?
It's go ahead.
Okay, I just want to remind you that after this run, we have the Rayman 3 race between Whizboy and that Stando, and we have a name incentive for that. Currently, Monka S is in the lead with 15 euros and 76 cents, and right behind that is Murphy with 4 euros and 20 cents. If you want to change this, then get your donations in. We're probably gonna close it when we start the run, and now let's go back to Frosty.
So this level has a lot of these pink platforms, which you actually stick to them once you start walking close to them. However, we can skip a little bit of a segment there, even though you aren't supposed to walk over that segment over there. And now the most favorite power-up of every speedrunner of this game and of any casual player. And it's so satisfying to actually skip it over there. Like, it's the spring power-up, which makes you jump really high, but the movement with the spring is just so slow. Like, no one likes using that, even as a casual player. It's just the most terrible power-up ever. I don't know what Nintendo was thinking with it. But luckily, with just doing some wall jumps against these walls, it's pretty easy to actually skip these segments and actually skip using the spring power-up. We can actually see it over there. Just trying to lure us in, trying to use it, but we're not going to use it. We're just going to jump up here and go in. Probably one of the more interesting skips of this game is going to come up. It's Mecha Bowser skip. Normally, to get to the top, you would actually have to get into a pipe, go inside Mecha Bowser, and actually, it's a really long segment if you would do that. However, you can just long jump off here and just use his arm to actually wall jump up. It is a little bit, can be a little bit annoying though, because you actually the timing on one of the final wall jumps is pretty precise. However, it still easily beats doing this level the regular way, because this yellow platform can be pretty difficult to avoid, but we got it second try though. So now we're getting up here. There's gonna be a little bit of an annoying guy up here. Hopefully he doesn't hit us, but once you're up there, it's usually you can still stand there. One final segment, hitting all of these blocks, and that will destroy Mecha Bowser. And we didn't have to use the spring power up. Ah, so happy about that. So there we go, there's one more star. And then we're gonna get a little bit... it's pretty important that I pay attention during the start of this, because there's one more Hungry Luma we need to feed. And up until that Luma, there aren't that many spare star bits. I think you can grab about 60 in total before around getting him, and he needs 50, so hopefully I don't miss the star bits at the first segment, but now that I've managed here, I'm sure I can remember to actually grab them. So the level is called Luigi Meets Mario, which we'll be doing a little bit later, because there's this really cool... Well, you can't really see it yet. But there's this really cool looking planet which is showing up now, which is the traditional Mario with lava on there. But we won't be going there quite yet. We're first gonna go for the secret in this level. And this secret is probably one of the most annoying ones, since technically you can get a soft locked on this level, but luckily I've never gotten it before, so I'm sure it won't happen. Maybe I've jinxed it now and I have to stop the run. That would be really bad. Anyway, we're a little bit low on star bits, but there are just a few more on this side if another comet starts appearing. So we have just enough to actually feed the Hungry Luma over on the other side. I thought it was going to be on the other side. Anyway, avoid these electric fences, and there's this Hungry Luma. So here we go, we're gonna feed him 50 star bits. And the planet he's gonna create, it might seem a little bit familiar, like we're gonna see some enemy which was kinda annoying before earlier, and we have to deal with them again. They're the rolling twomp guys, which can instantly kill us if we get stuck underneath them. To actually make the star spawn, we need to hit all the switches. And I'm gonna play it safe around these guys just because, you know, as I said, they are instant kills, and it would be really bad if I actually got squashed by them right at the end. luckily, for the second half of this planet, we actually won't have to deal with them anymore. So we're just gonna long jump over here, if Luigi wants to. Only if you want to, Luigi. I know that guy looks really scary, but anyway, this is the final guy we need to be avoiding. And then for the final fuel switches, there are actually going to be these spike plates, which we've seen before. But luckily, the spike plates aren't as scary as the Thwomps, because these just are 1 damage instead of just an instant kill. So was hoping to hit the corner right there, but wasn't able to hit it though. Gonna hit the final 2 over here. The star will spawn and it will be right next to us because, you know, we route stuff like that out. Why would we go all the way over these planets and then not end close to the star? So we've made it past the level that can technically softlock your game. Fortunately, we have to do that planet again, so technically we can still softlock. So, you know, now that I've said it so many times, let me just actually make a save here after doing this one. Just in case it actually happens, we can still go back and continue on. It is a few seconds slower, but, you know, it wouldn't be the first time that something happens for the first time during a marathon. So here we go, the Comet is here with the Fast-Foe Comet, which brings us back to that planet we were on just before, but this time they're twice as fast. For the rest, this level is exactly the same, only the enemies are moving twice, but we still gotta hit the exact same switches and we'll just be following the exact same route. We just might have to wait a little bit on cycles a little bit more. There we go. Over here. Going out. Actually going to the bottom here. Oh, going to the bottom. There you go, Luigi. I'm just gonna wait. Go. Gotta hit these switches. Let him go off the final switch and actually going back up again. Because it's still, even if you hit that bottom switch as the last one, it's still faster, I think, to... Oh, oops. Actually hit one of those switches again. If you step on these switches again, they actually turn off again, so that can get kind of tricky at some times, but then again, hitting them another time won't take that long either. There we go, and those are all the switches. And there we go, there's the star again. And we didn't soft lock! So there we go, that's one more star over here. Well, here in Toy Town we're gonna grab one more star, we're actually gonna do the regular level we've seen before with the Luigi meets Mario. And that planet is kind of interesting, like the regular one is fine, but later in the game, once you've actually beaten Bowser once, at a certain moment you have a purple comet will spawn there, which means you have to collect 100 purple coins. And the 100 purple coins on the planet can be quite tricky since there will also be a lot of instant death on that planet as well, but luckily we're not doing that, we're just doing any percent. So here we go again, skipping the intro cutscene. And then we just go into that launch star. This time we don't need the star bits, so I'll just point away from the screen and Luigi shouldn't be grabbing any star bits. Well, unless we run immediately into them. Like that. So that's one of the star chips. We need to collect some star chips again to continue to the next planet. So we're just gonna go over here. One is on top of the spring. And actually to grab the final star chip, we need to slightly change the planet first. We have to actually screw in the small screw over here, and then the big screw will also start spinning. And then we can actually reach the final star chip as well. And luckily the star spawns right here, because there's a reason why we grabbed that one last. So here we go. And on this planet we have to collect these 5 silver stars. There is some lava around, but I doubt that we will do a lava boost off of them. That's 3 of them. Now we're going back. Since the star is gonna spawn there anyway, it's best to just make a circle around the level and actually grab them. This is probably the scariest part because those yellow platforms spin, and for a while the camera will move away, so it suddenly switches back and you forget what momentum you have. Luckily it didn't mess with us that much. So that's the end of Toy Time Galaxy, and now we're gonna go to one of the 2 other levels in this galaxy. We'll be visiting both, and I don't think it actually matters in which order you do them. I already messed up the order, by the way, which you normally do this. But so far it still seems good with the comets appearing. That comet appeared at the exact moment I thought it was gonna appear, so let's just switch the 2 around. I'll save that one for last, and we'll go to Gold Leaf Galaxy. And Gold Leaf Galaxy, it might seem a little bit familiar if you have been here since the start of the run, because it's actually very similar to the Honey Hive Galaxy, which we did right at the start. The only difference from the first planet is that it's actually mirrored, and there are just some slight other enemies around, but the layout will seem pretty familiar with the rolling boulders and the slope, which we're gonna, of course, utilize by just climbing up them. So in this level we have to find some blue star chips, and the first one is gonna be up here on the spring, and we actually gonna need a few star bits for later during this level, because we need to catch another one of the star bunnies. However, there aren't many star bits in this level though, so it can sometimes be a little bit annoying to actually do it. Also we're backflipping up there, so we don't have to find some other way to get up there. I don't even know what the casual way is of actually getting up there. Good night, Krill. So there's one more star chip over here, which is actually surrounded by some piranhas, so I'm actually gonna shoot the first one, just in case, otherwise it might hit me. Quickly jumping out here, and luckily there are some star bits right back over here, so we can use it for a moment. Also, one of the few uses of using first-person mode is that which actually wants to go in first. There we go. You can actually start grabbing those pulsars early. The camera is really weird at that point, so you can usually you have to do it pulsar by pulsar, which is kind of slow because pulsars aren't the fastest thing in the world unless you cover great distances. However, oh, that seems pretty good. Oh, I kind of messed it up. One thing you can do with this bunny though, it moves slightly slower in the water, so it makes it a little bit easier to catch. So I tried to lure it to the water, but I guess since Luigi is a little bit faster than Mario, and this level was kind of intended to be at first done with Mario, you can actually just catch him if you keep running after him just long enough. However, there was also a button which would also have risen some walls, which could help you catch it, but I feel like it doesn't help that much even. If you lure it into the water, it will move a little bit slower, but besides that, you'll just have to chase it for a while if you don't hit it with a star bit. Anyway, going back to Gold Leaf again, and we're actually gonna see some cataquacks again. These cataquacks, we can hopefully skip using most of them, because the cataquacks are usually pretty slow. Like, the whole idea behind the level is that you have to lure the cataquack to the correct spot, which will then launch you to the next planet. But, you know, luring a cataquack around an entire planet is kind of slow, so we're just gonna go as quickly as possible to the launch star. So we're gonna go up here, and there is a cataquack over here, which hopefully isn't gonna hit us, unless it's pretty close to the wall. But you can just do a backflip of this fence, and you're high enough to get on this little thing over here, on this platform. For this next part, you should lure the cataquack to this little bit of a platform over here, but again, triple jump. We'll just do this. We'll do the trick as well. This will probably be the hardest jump during this level. We actually have to get a triple jump on the box, and it can be kind of annoying since we have to do it from a different side of gravity, so hopefully I can land on the box. Technically it's possible to do without the box, but it's really, really precise. But if I land on the box, it's almost guaranteed to actually make it on top of that. There we go. So now this planet, unfortunately, we have to use a cataquack because we can't really set up a good triple jump because these platforms are really small, and the cataquacks on this planet can be really annoying. If once you start getting hit by one, they usually just keep launching you up in the air, making you go back to previous parts as well. We just need to make it to the top here, and then they'll launch you to the correct location. There you go. Final segment over here, which wants you to lure a cataquack to this B power-up over here. But the B power-up is close enough to the ground to actually grab it from this ledge and actually doing a spin over there. Then there are a lot of these flowers where you have to actually reach the final star to. But since Luigi can jump quite high, he can actually just hover up right to one of the flowers without actually doing that entire flower segment. There we go, that's one more star. Now we're actually going for the secret one, which was already in the second one. It will be probably also one of the fastest stars out there. Because the secret is actually pretty close to the start of the level. So this level will actually have some really cool music in it, because we're actually be grabbing some of the music notes. And if we actually grab them faster than they were intended to, the music will speed up really fast, making the song sound pretty cool, I would say. So we first have to go up here and hit this thing, and then we can play the music. Alright. Unfortunately I messed up a little bit there on the music, so you couldn't hear the full song in the really fast way, but still pretty fast though. So then right at the end, since you still have your momentum, you just fly straight into the star. So now probably one of my favorite stars is coming up. Not that it has anything really special, I just really like the movement in it. Okay, to be fair, it has one skip in it though, but just the movement in general is pretty technical throughout the level, which makes it seem pretty cool if all is executed properly. So here we're going to number 3, the third star in this one, and we're actually gonna, we have to climb a tower again, because we've done that in Honey Hive Galaxy as well, so why not do it in this one as well, right? So the intentional way is to actually go over all these wooden platforms to actually make it up there, but there is a small spot where we can actually get high enough to actually reach to one of the platforms. And there's kind of a unique setup for it, because the wall where we'll be wall jumping off isn't that great. However, if we use this mushroom over here and actually just stand over here, usually you get a pretty good angle to do wall jumps up there. Then over here we're actually gonna skip using the B power-up, because the B power-up is slow. But there are a lot of these cool little skips, which actually skips using the B, and it's just really fun to do. And then this final part, hopefully... technically you can get a cutscene skip on this boss fight, so he'll actually won't move at all during this boss fight, which looks really cool. However, it's a pretty precise jump, which you have to do off the vine, and it's also a little bit random whether you get it or not. Also, let's make sure I don't miss him. Now we'll go on a little bit of a rampage, but since we can actually use the spikes to just bounce up to him. Because it's pretty difficult to avoid when he starts shooting a lot of bubbles, and just using the damage boost from the spikes there is faster than waiting for him to shoot all his bubbles. No, actually, grab the star please. I was too focused on shooting my star bits. So we're almost done here in Gold Leaf Galaxy, where we'll be grabbing, hopefully a comet will appear now. I'm pretty sure it will. But otherwise we'll grab some other stars first. But this will be the final level in Honey Hive, and it's it will look very similar to the level we've just done, and luckily the Comet is here. However, the one thing is going to be a little bit different. For the skip I've done up at the tree, like in the previous one, the camera turned to being behind the tree. However, for some reason the camera doesn't turn like that during the Cosmic Luigi race, even though the level is the same for the rest. So the setup, even though you will do a backflip right at the same spot, it's still pretty. It still feels very different from doing the other backflip we just did just before. Also, a thing I forgot to mention about these Cosmic Luigi races, you can actually get a head start on him if you actually time it correctly. I'll try to be going for it. But yeah, then you get one of these golden starts, and you actually run a little bit faster for the first part, saving you a little bit of time. However, as you can see, the camera didn't turn as before, so we actually have to do this backwards. Ooh, I missed that. Hopefully Oh. Actually, hurry up over here. Oh, this is gonna be bad. I feel like I got like one more. Oh, I think I'm not gonna be fast enough anymore. Like, you only have a certain amount of tries before Cosmic Luigi actually reaches it. Yeah, well, right at the moment when we got it, we actually lost the race, so we have to redo the level, unfortunately. That's really unfortunate. Oh well. We're just gonna try again. And luckily, since we already saw this cutscene, we can at least skip that then. Oh, no golden star this time though. Alright, let's go for the skip again. Go back up here. Oh, please go up there, Luigi. Alright, please get stuck under here, Luigi. There you go. There we go. That wasn't that hard. There we go, that's all of Gold Leaf. There's one more level we'll be collecting quite a few stars in here. And after that we'll just grab some few quick stars which we skipped earlier. So currently we're at 55, we'll be collecting 3 stars in the next galaxy and then 2 more quick stars, including one of the stars where we needed 600 star bits for. So here we're going to Sea Slide, and the first level is unfortunately kind of an auto-scroller again, because there's this shark, and this shark is gonna test if we can swim well enough or something like that, and we just gotta follow him throughout the entire level. And technically we can go faster than him, but we have to stay behind him. So it's just gonna be... It's gonna feel like a pretty slow segment. Here we're gonna swim after him. At the start we can start spinning a little bit, because we don't have a shell yet and we'll be a bit faster. Oh, actually grab the shell. There you go. A really cool thing I like about this shell though is then there's actually a brake for the shell, so you'll start going not as fast, and it actually has these cute little brake lights on them. Even though it doesn't really make sense that there's light coming out of a shell, but it looks fun though. The Mario logic again, indeed. So here we're not gonna follow after him because he won't make his next ring until right in between those 2 spiral things, but then again we have to wait here. Then we have to wait there. But then we can show off the cute little brake lights again. Like, that's fun, right? And there I'm just grabbing some extra air just because I could be grabbing one of those bubbles with a coin in them, but I want to skip getting the text box in the end of the level, so I'll just jump out of the water there and grab some extra air. Final one will be over here. After we grab it, we just quickly go out of the water. Go. That's one more star in here. The next 2 stars are gonna be pretty similar. For both of them, we have to just swim a lot in the water, because in both of them we're actually gonna do a race. One against some other penguins, and the other will be racing Cosmic Luigi. And this is gonna have a really interesting mechanic. Like, this is like the only level where it's really useful to use it in, since water is really flat. But in this game there's this thing called surface swimming. When you stay close enough to the surface and then start spinning, for some reason Luigi can actually get stuck on the surface. It seems like that's gonna be really slow, but for some reason Luigi just swims really fast on the surface if you just keep spinning. However, to actually stay in that state of being stuck in on the surface, you actually have to keep spinning, so it might not talk as much during the level itself, just because I just have to spin a lot. So here we go. Final Cosmic Luigi race. Hopefully, oh, no golds start, unfortunately. So let's see if we can start doing the surface swim. Oh. No. Oh, actually. Throw away the shell. Nope, not getting it. There we go, that's the surface swim. And now we just keep on spinning. There we go. It's way faster than any other form of swimming, so it's faster if you get it. If you don't get the surface swim at all during this level, it actually becomes pretty tough to beat Cosmic Luigi. So I'm really glad that I got it there, at least in the end, so I didn't risk losing that. So one more star to go over here, which will be more surface swimming, but this time we have to swim for a longer pod, so just the same thing as before. It's gonna be, I'll be spinning a lot, and hopefully my arm won't hurt too much afterwards, because this time I have to surface swim for a way longer pod. So we're gonna try to be faster than a speeding penguin, and I'm sure we'll be able to be faster. Unlike the previous level with Cosmic Luigi, it would be pretty difficult to lose this one, because the penguins aren't actually that fast. And since we're still technically spinning underwater all the time, Luigi is still swimming pretty fast. So let's talk to this penguin guy. We actually need to talk to him to start a race. So there are two parts where we can do the surface swim on, right here at the start and also right at the end. There's a little bit of a segment in between where you can't really do a surface swim because the water is too steep. So we got this first surface swim pretty fast. Now we're just, for this part, we just have to grab the shell over here. This time we're grabbing a coin though, because otherwise we would be running out of air there. But for now it's just going with just holding on to the shell and until we get past the next segment. Because technically you could try start a surface swim over there, but it would only be for like one spin. It wouldn't be worth it to actually throw your shell away. Anyway, once we're past these blocks, we can start trying to do a surface swim on this one again as well. Oh, almost. Nope. There we go. Now we just gotta not hit any of the platforms and just keep on spinning. Ah, there we go. That's a lot of spinning in one level. But luckily we're done with that. So we only need 2 more stars to actually unlock the final Bowser level. And we'll actually be going to the Hungry Luma, because we've been collecting these star bits all along the run, and I really want to use them now. I want to see what... I actually want to get rid of them. Like, I don't want to see them. It's been too long. So we're gonna be done in this dome. And we're actually gonna head back to the kitchen, because that's where the Hungry Luma is, which we actually want to feed. It's a little bit far away, but we think the teleporter would bring us there immediately, but as I said before, the teleporter is slow, so we're just gonna jump off the observatory there. So here's the Hungry Luma with more than enough star bits. And now that he has enough star bits, he will create one more level, which, even though it's a pretty short level, it is a pretty difficult one though, because if you start messing up a lot, also we don't need star beams anymore, so I can just shoot them. But once you start messing it up a little bit, it can be difficult to find to do this fast, because these eels, just like the moles from the Gusty Garden galaxy, don't move when they're not on screen. So you might actually be looking at it for a really long time just to realize that it's just not moving anywhere, just a little corner you've missed somewhere. So here we're grabbing a shell to actually quickly go after the first one to the right here. And then the next one, we actually need to find another shell, but sometimes it's just difficult to find a shell. Like, sometimes I just forget the layout of this planet because everything is water. It's gonna be right behind me. And the red shell's actually home on a little bit to the eels, so it's slightly easier to hit them like that. Technically you can use green shells, but if you can find them, but if you're just starting out with playing this game, it's probably just best to go for the red shells instead. So that's gonna be star 59. We only need one more to unlock the final Bowser, and we're actually gonna see our good friend Other Luigi again, because we haven't seen him in a while, and he's still out there looking for stars. And this next star is just such a fast one that it would be really bad if we skip that one, because that'd be slow. So we actually have to talk to the Toad over here, and he's gonna bring us a letter from Luigi, and he's stuck on a tree somewhere. And that tree, I feel like I've seen it somewhere really early during the run though, so it must be in this dome somewhere. It's actually gonna be here in the Honey Hive Galaxy. It isn't gonna matter which of the stars I select, he's gonna be in any of the three, so I'll probably go for the first one because that's where they say that he is. So we're going up the slope once more and just spinning up there just so we can actually get up there. And Luigi is gonna be right on this tree, but he's being being watched by a little bee over here, and he's kind of scared by that. But let's just save him, like, Luigi is here to save Luigi. That sounds weird. Anyway, he has the final power star for us, making us actually able to go to the final Bowser level. And the final Bowser level is gonna take a little while. Like, it's what you can expect from a last level. It's gonna be the longest level in the game. To be fair, there are some longer stars later in the game, once you unlock the purple comets and you have to collect purple coins in certain levels. There's actually one level out there, I think that's actually slower than doing the Bowser level. Maybe with the cutscenes this one is still longer, but anyway, now that we got 0 stars, we can actually head out to Bowser, saving the princess, because we kinda didn't really mention the princess anymore after the start of the run. You also don't really see much of her. But Rosalina is gonna turn the observatory back into a spaceship, and we're actually gonna fly straight to the center of the universe. This is perfect time for me to grab a little bit extra water. Just a little bit of refreshment I need to do this final level. This final level is gonna have a lot of different sort of planets, like you'll see a little bit from throughout the run, the kind of planets we've seen. And some of those are gonna have some cool skips. Not really big skips since the planets aren't that big by themselves. But it will still be some really cool tricks you're gonna see.
Go, Luigi.
So here she's gonna take pieces from the create some bridge pieces, and we're actually gonna run to Peach's castle. Like, even though we won't be seeing much of Peach's castle, like we're running in there, but that's basically all of it. But after that little cutscene, actually going to the star select screen and going to the fate of the universe. And yeah, as I said, it's gonna have some interesting parts. First things first, we're gonna start out with these sort of beams, which actually pull you towards the wall. However, we don't really want to deal with the cycles over here, so... Oh, whoops. So we're just gonna jump on top of the wall so we can just skip this part entirely. Oh, we'll use that to actually make it there. And we're gonna make it into this one. Just gonna wait here a little bit, just because we can't reach it from where we were at that point. Oh, please Luigi, don't get stuck over there. So this next one, Nintendo actually placed an invisible ball right to the bottom of here, as you just saw like that. We actually got stopped. However, they didn't make the invisible wall very big, so it's still pretty easy to go around it. Then this ice segment, you can just do a few long jumps, and if you do a long jump over here, you can get into the beam immediately. This part, we didn't see the desert level, because the desert level is terrible in this game. But doing a long jump off that one spinning platform also gives you a little bit of extra momentum, just so you can actually make that long jump to the ends of the planet. Here we're gonna deal with some of the upside down gravity again. Gonna wait here a little bit just to not get hit by those fire bars, and we're heading to almost the final planet. Like the next one is, we're actually gonna see Bowser. So, and since we don't need Starbits anymore, we can just shoot them wherever we want. There'll be a little bit of a shortcut over here, like instead of actually going all the way down, we can actually just jump on the cannon launcher over there and just go all the way over there. So, grabbing a coin over here and going off to this really long staircase, and we can already see Bowser there in the end. But Princess Peach isn't with Bowser though, she's with Bowser Jr., so why aren't we going after Bowser Jr., right? I don't know. So there we go. These stairs are kinda annoying, because you can't really long jump up them, but they're just too close to each other to actually do jump on them one by one. So I'll try to go for as many skipping pieces of the stair there, but you know, it's not the biggest deal if I miss a few of them. So here we're going into the final boss fight. And he's actually, we're at the center of the universe, and he's creating this big fireball. Don't know what his idea is with it, but I guess we'll figure out, or not, unless we beat him. So this boss fight is going to be a little bit different. Instead of, the final phase will be pretty similar though, but instead of jumping at us, he's actually going to turn into this boulder. Actually, that's a spoiler for Mario Galaxy 2, because it actually becomes the boulder power-up. But yeah, during this part you just have to wait for him to start spinning, and you just have to hit his head with a spin. And it's if you it's always gonna be the same time when he's gonna show his head. So it's actually pretty easy to just stand next to him to actually find the correct spot where his head's gonna be. This phase pretty easy, just because we can already start this segment. Ooh, this is really bad though. I actually hit him on top of the green ball, so I couldn't actually hit it while he was shooting his fireballs. However, he could start spinning quite quickly, so this phase is probably the fastest. So now we're actually going to the final segment, which is gonna be similar to the Bowser we fought before. We actually have to let him hit these blue circles. So here we're gonna do a little bit of a setup. We're gonna wait until he goes into his Bowser ball. And if we get hit, then you actually go out of it immediately, making this phase a little bit faster. So, and for this next segment, we're gonna do an even more interesting setup. We're actually gonna hit his head after shooting 1 or 2 fireballs. And if we hit one of the fireballs, then he actually goes out of that phase as well. However, he wasn't close to one of these things though, so we didn't hit it, unfortunately. Oh. Let's hit him once more. And then he starts spinning. One more hit. And there he goes. That was Bowser. So time is coming up pretty soon. We're just gonna watch this little cutscene of Bowser actually falling into the lava. The final time will be when I grab the final Grand Star, which will appear after this cutscene. So here we see Bowser, and you know, it's like the previous two Grand Stars. It's actually gonna appear from inside here, and this is gonna be the end. With this Grand Star, we prevented the universe from being destroyed, because the Grand Star was apparently used for that. And with that, we can actually finish off this run. So, time's coming up. Time. So yeah, that is Mario Galaxy, or technically Luigi Galaxy, any %. I hope you all enjoyed this really cool run. I feel like we've gotten a pretty good time with a 250. So, yeah. I hope you all enjoyed, and enjoy the Rayman after this.